In the year 2035, advancements in technology led to the creation of a virtual world called Connect. This virtual world was as realistic as the real world, with perfectly natural artificial intelligence non-player characters. It offered fancy swordsmanship and magic that could only be experienced in the game. These unique features attracted over 100 million people into the world of Connect. The scene shifted to a temple where Bae DoHyun, also known as Crash in the game, was engaged in a fierce battle against a large group of opponents. Let's aim for 200 likes on today's video. To show your support, consider subscribing to the channel. Bae DoHyun skillfully killed them one by one, instilling fear in all who witnessed his abilities. A knight stepped forward and shouted to his fellow knights, questioning their inaction and urging them to charge at Bae DoHyun. The knights, driven by their loyalty to the empire, started moving towards Bae DoHyun to attack him, shouting, "Death to the empire's enemy." At that moment, a window popped up displaying information about Bae DoHyun, revealing his ranking as 13th in Connect and his class as a psychokinetic. Bae DoHyun utilized his psychokinetic skill to manipulate the nearby swords and eliminate the approaching enemies. The knight then ordered the archers to fire arrows at Bae DoHyun. However, he swiftly used his psychokinetic ability once again to stop the arrows midair and redirect them towards the knight. The arrows hit many knights, causing some to die and others to sustain serious injuries. Bae DoHyun then proceeded to swiftly dispatch the injured knights using his dagger. The remaining knights, filled with anger, expressed their frustration with Bae DoHyun's overpowering skill in psychokinesis. However, their anger soon turned into confusion as they witnessed a large number of swords floating in the air. Bae DoHyun, once again utilizing his psychokinetic ability, controlled the swords and directed them towards the remaining knights, killing them all. After the bloody battle came to an end, Bae DoHyun moved forward towards the temple, muttering to himself, "Shit, where is it?" Suddenly, he noticed a cough coming from a nearby high priest. The high priest remarked, "In the end, this is it." Bae DoHyun looked at the high priest's locket and exclaimed, "That's it, his search is over." Meanwhile, the priest informed Bae DoHyun that God had foretold the arrival of saviors to this world. Bae DoHyun advanced, attempting to seize the locket from the priest's chest. However, the priest grabbed the hand of Bae DoHyun, exclaiming, "Why are there only fighters here, outsider? Why did you bring chaos to this world? Why did you burn the cities, kill the innocents, and enslave the people here?" Bae DoHyun forcefully freed his hand, snatching the locket, and retorted, "Old man, don't blame me. Blame the guild that colluded with the empire." In that moment, Bae DoHyun noticed new members arriving at the scene and muttered, "Shit, the guild's latecomers are here." He swiftly moved inside the building. Meanwhile, the priest warned, "Don't forget, everything will be as God has intended," and declared angrily, "All of you will pay for what you've done." Bae DoHyun then used the locket that he had snatched from the priest to open a hidden underground room. As he descended the stairs, he pondered to himself, according to the intel, these should be the very first mythical items in Connect. 5 years ago, major guilds colluded with the empire and destroyed the world. Everything he did for the last 6 months was for this. An NPC lamenting is nothing. The major guilds took control of Connect, and he is the only solo player left in the top 100. Let's take them before they get here. If they find out he obtained these items first, the guilds will be very upset. Excellent. Let's leave this place. He discovered a game cartridge and wondered why it was there. Abruptly, he experienced a sharp pain in his head. Bae DoHyun exclaimed, "Connection error. How did this happen?" Upon opening his eyes, he realized he had been stabbed. An internal lament echoed, "Damn it. Things were going too smoothly in Connect." Confronted by a group of individuals in black suits, one of them questioned his agitated movements, urging him to meet his end peacefully. Internally, Bae DoHyun condemned them, thinking, "I didn't expect them to escalate things to this extent in the real world. These people are despicable." Contacting their boss, one of them relayed, We have him. Do you want us to bring him alive? The boss, issuing instructions over the phone. In response, he said, "Yes, understood." Another inquired about the command, receiving the response, "Kill him. The boss only wants us to bring his head." Captured by a ruthless group willing to kill over a game, Bae DoHyun pleaded for mercy, but the captors were unforgiving. Ordered to cover his face, he internally resisted, thinking, "No way. Killing people over a game. These people are insane. Is this how I'm going to die?" Suddenly, a voice urged him to wake up. Opening his eyes, he was astonished to find himself alive, pondering, "What just happened? I thought I died after being stabbed." The attending maid queried, "Are you okay, Sir Raul?" Confused, Bae DoHyun wondered, "Raul, is that her status level?" Concerned, the maid asked, "You've broken into a cold sweat. Should I call a doctor?" Bae DoHyun reflected, "What? I feel like I'm witnessing something I shouldn't be able to." A system window displayed information. The soul has settled in. Activating Connect's closed beta system. You can now use the user interface. Current number of users: 1. Bae DoHyun muttered, "User, are you kidding me? That means this is inside the world of Connect." Raul contemplated within himself, sensing a profound connection. It differed significantly from his link with Crash. The strength in the game was determined by the level of connection one had with Connect. While normal players usually achieved around 30% synchronization, Bae DoHyun boasted close to 90%. Bae DoHyun had maintained his top-ranking status for a decade, until the emergence of major guilds. Unfortunately, Raul no longer inhabited that body and felt a sense of misfortune, considering the considerable time invested in its leveling up. However, recognizing the closed beta status and the solitary user, he pondered if he was the sole individual currently utilizing this system in the world. Realizing he could still access his inventory even in the closed beta, the window displaying information scanned his user's details and detected locked user information, subsequently updating it. This information flowed into his mind. Determined to ascend to the pinnacle once more, Raul resolved to leverage the knowledge and powers from his past life. He identified himself as Raul Ashton, the youngest son of Ashton, the fifth count of the Reuben Kingdom. Ashton County, the first to fall in Connect, belonged to one of Reuben Kingdom's orthodox families. Amidst family tragedies and a monster invasion, Raul, the youngest son, inherited the county. Anticipating the impending ruin of the beautiful city in 3 years, Raul, driven by a desire to prevent this fate, acknowledged that he no longer possessed the lives of Bae DoHyun or Crash. This opportunity was his last chance, and having endured hardships in his previous life as Bae DoHyun, he couldn't afford to let it slip away. The only viable path to prevent the impending downfall was to grow stronger. A month later, the traditional coming-of-age ceremony of Ashton Count was approaching. Success in the semi-finals would secure Raul's entry into Kingdom Academy, where he aimed to grow stronger and safeguard his life. Confused about his fatigue after a few swings, a window revealed his information as level 5 Raul. Puzzled by his level compared to a mate to levels lower, he resolved to train for the upcoming tournament. On the tournament day, observing the numerous participants, Raul realized he would face formidable opponents. Reflecting on the past month's challenges, he noted his increased level to 13. Feeling well prepared and confident in his stamina and match plan, an attempted surprise attack interrupted his thoughts. Dodging the attack, Raul discovered the assailant to be Diane, his cousin and the second son of Uncle Viscount Austin. Recalling Diane's past bullying during swordsmanship training, Raul regarded him as a scoundrel who preyed on the weaker. Diane warned Raul to withdraw from the tournament, threatening severe harm. Raul, determined to crush Diane in the finals, vowed to stand firm. In the evening, the butler relayed, "Sir, this is the report for the tournament today." Count Melvin Ashton, Raul's father, directed the butler, "Hand it over." "Was there anyone useful?" The butler responded, "About that, Raul qualifies." Inquisitive, Count Melvin inquired. "Where's Raul now?" The butler replied. "Sir, Raul went back to his room after finishing his meal. I think he used up all his strength during the qualifier, and went back to rest." Count Melvin nodded and said, "Okay, you may go." After the butler exited the room, Count Melvin burst into laughter, exclaiming, "He is my son, he really made it. He made it to the group stage." He continued, "I never forced him to learn how to wield a sword because he was weaker than his brothers. But then he started training a month before the tournament. At first, he fell down after 10 minutes, but he never gave up. I knew he was bullied during the training because of his weak body, but if I helped, he would be shamed for being unable to do anything without my help. I had to wait till he stood up for himself, but this is way past my expectations. When the finals are over, I should go see him." On the day of the group stage final, a person from the audience shouted, "What are you doing?" Another person added, "Make it fun. Stop dragging it out and end him." Edmund, lost in thought, muttered to himself, "Shit, this weakling. Why is he not falling?" Edmund resumed his sword attacks, but Raul adeptly blocked each strike. Frustrated, Edmund exclaimed, "Just go down," and launched a forceful swing, causing Raul to stagger backward slightly. The audience was taken aback by Raul's resilience, commenting to each other, "Look, he took his attack again. How many times does this make it? He's been holding out for quite a while now." They began shouting, "You got this, third son." This only fueled Edmund's anger. He taunted Raul, saying, "You rat, you can't run away forever. Are you not ashamed as a member of a count's family?" In response, Raul nonchalantly replied, "I can't really hear you." Someone from the audience shouted, "End him, Edmund. You've dragged it out long enough. I bet my salary on you." Unfazed, Raul standing still, while Edmund declared, "I'm done messing around. I'm ending this," and unleashed his mana sword. The audience was shocked by his decision. One exclaimed about the mana sword, while another warned, "You have to dodge that. If you get hit by that." Edmund moved towards Raul with his mana sword, but to his surprise, Raul decided to take the attack head-on this time. When their swords collided, an explosion occurred, leaving the audience tense. After the dust settled, the match referee, positioned between Edmund and Raul, announced, "The match is over. The winner is Raul." The audience erupted, shouting, "The third son won." "There's no way." Meanwhile, Edmund protested to the referee, saying, "I can't accept it. How's he the winner? If you hadn't stopped me." The referee sternly told Edmund, "How foolish. Look at your neck. If I hadn't stopped the match, you would be dead by now." Edmund, realizing the danger, fell to the ground in fear. Approaching Edmund, Raul stated, "I'll have to talk to you about your disrespect towards the county after the tournament," intensifying Edmund's fear. In the evening, Raul returned to his room, and the maid at the door said, "Rest well, sir." When Raul found himself alone, he burst into laughter and exclaimed, "Holy shit, I actually won." Opening the status window revealed the following information: Level up. Ashton's swordsmanship mastery has elevated to beginner level 9. Reflecting on his success, Raul thought, the plan worked. Using the game's feature where I get more experience and mastery by fighting against stronger opponents. Fighting against a stronger opponent for longer gave me more experience. This plan only worked because my game mode gives me an experience multiplier for taking away the revive. A hardcore mode. High risk, high return. I did complain at first. The status shows role information, including his name, level, class, affiliation title, and stats. Raul has 5 unique traits, but out of 5, 3 can't be seen due to his low level. Contemplating on his rate of leveling, Raul reflected, I wouldn't have been able to level up this much in a month if I was in normal mode. Best of all, I have 5 unique traits. Psychokinetic Meister is a trait that Bae DoHyun had, and Royal Lineage is a trait that Raul possesses. The rest of them will unlock as I level up. Let's try using this on the next tournament matches. Subsequently, Raul effortlessly won 3 more matches in a row, leaving the audience astounded. They exchanged comments, with some saying, "The youngest son actually made it to the grand finale. How could this be possible? He's just lucky." One person speculated, "Maybe he's using some kind of a trick." Another responded, "Impossible." Meanwhile, Raul thought to himself, "Connect civilians in the early stages don't know about the powers that the players have. It'd probably be better to keep it a secret that I can use psychokinesis until the players show up. I can surely hide it with my acting skills." The butler outside Raul's room announced, "Sir, it's Ivan." Raul welcomed, "Come in." The butler inquired, "Are you hurt anywhere?" Raul assured the butler, "I'm perfectly fine. Even if I get hurt, there's a priest and a healer on standby." The butler advised, "Still, don't let your guard down. Remember, there are wounds that can't be healed." Raul acknowledged, "Okay, I'll be careful." Internally, Raul thought, "He's really worried about me. I can't get used to it since I've never felt like this in my past life." Turning to the butler, Raul inquired, "What about the thing I asked for?" The butler responded, "I did as you asked." "Are you sure about that? Sir Dian is a strong opponent." Raul reassured, "Don't worry about it. I will win." The butler replied, "I trust you, sir. I'll leave now." While exiting the room, the butler reflected, his confidence matches the Count's when he was younger. But the final opponent is Sir Dian. He brutally wounds whoever he goes against. Simultaneously, Raul contemplated, "How much is this? Ashton County's betting system." The county created a legal betting system for the tournament's success, and the bets also go to the participants. This is enough to ensure my place in the family. The only thing left is to crush him, the referee announced, and now, the final match begins. People rallied behind Raul, shouting phrases like, "You got this, youngest. Be ready to get challenged by Dian. Win with your skill this time, Raul, Raul." In response, Dian addressed Raul, "Hey, weakling. I don't know how you made it this far, but I'll make sure that you consider it your worst decision to come up here. People cheering you will soon find out how worthless you are. It'll be a nice view when you start crawling with your limbs cut off." Raul, unfazed, yawned and provocatively asked Dian, "Are you done stretching your tongue?" This only fueled Dian's anger, and he retorted, "You arrogant expletive," while enveloping his entire body with mana. Observing the intense mana, the audience remarked, "His mana's overwhelming. Raul's no match for him." Meanwhile, Raul thought to himself, "He's acting all tough." Glancing at Dian's status window, the status window displays information: name, Dian, level, 42, class, expert knight sword user, affiliation, Austin Viscounty, title, Ashton Viscounty star, sword genius, stats, potential talent grade B, strength 52, agility 41, stamina 43, intelligence 18, willpower 14, mana 32, senses 21. Raul continued his thoughts. His potential talent is only B. He may look impressive now, but this is his limit. The referee announced, "Match begins." Dian, filled with anger, said to Raul, "I'll kill you, coward." He moved forward to attack, but was surprised by Raul, who leaped in the air to strike Dian. Attempting to block Raul's sword attack, Dian was pushed back. Someone from the audience shouted, "Sir Raul strikes first." Dian, frustrated, said to Raul, "You expletive showing off." Raul pondered, "His elasticity is below my expectations. His strength is also, whatever." Dian exclaimed, "Why can't I hit you?" While continuing his thoughts, Raul reflected, "I can see his sword clearly. A sword skill without any practical experience. A generic nobleman's sword." Raul was bullied by this guy. Dian angrily said to Raul, "You expletive, you tripped me. I will expletive kill you." Raul thought to himself, the only thing he knows is mana sword with all that mana flowing through his body. The audience was shocked by Raul's swordsmanship when he caused Dian to drop his sword. Raul remarked to Dian, boring, "You are really nothing after all." In anger, DoHyun moved towards his sword to pick it up but was tripped by Raul again. Raul said to DoHyun, anger issues and repeatedly falling for the same trick. Look at you. What a shame on Viscounty Austin's name. DoHyun angrily shouted, I'll kill you, and attempted to attack Raul barehanded, only to receive a punch to the face that caused him to fall to ground unconscious. The audience, witnessing this, couldn't believe their eyes. Raul turned to the referee and said, the opponent is down. Are you going to continue the match? The referee announced, the winner of the Ashton Coming of Age tournament, Raul Ashton. The audience cheered, saying, young master, I believed in you. Raul. Raul thought to himself, I'm happy I won. But this awful stamina. The referee said, young master, and called for the healer quickly. At that moment, a window popped up showing information about the Coming of Age tournament quest. Coming of Age tournament. Quest completed. Check the reward. Quest. Coming of Age tournament. Grade D+. Objective. Make it to the semi-final in the Coming of Age tournament. Extra rewards depend on the final place. Result. Tournament champion completed. Reward. Experience. 300 coins player shop. Random skill book grade E or lower. Extra reward. Extra experience. 5 grade D stat points. Random skill book grade D or lower. Raul thought to himself, nice. Quest completed. Now I can make it to Kingdom Academy. Butler Ivan expressed to Count Melvin, I am so proud of the young master. He grew that much in a month. Count Melvin contemplated. He played around with DoHyun. If he really got that far in a month, he's a genius. But in that moment, Raul noticed his father and waved his hand. Raul thought, he was watching. He probably knows that I'm good enough to go to the academy now. At night, when he went to his father's room, Count Melvin said, I can't allow it. Raul questioned, why? I thought I could go as long as I made it to the semi-finals. Count Melvin explained, that's situational. From what I see, Raul, you need to stay by my side longer. You fell after the match. Stay here a little more, and Raul interrupted, asserting, learning about the sword is a lifelong journey. Didn't you always say that? I'm trying to go to the academy to learn more. Just like you said, you can't stop me. Count Melvin, taken aback by his confidence, thought to himself, he has really grown. Count Melvin stood up and said, okay, fine. If you really want to go, you'll have to get past me. I won't go easy on you, son. He then asked Raul, what are you going to do now? A month later, Raul, with a sign of relief, found himself finally out. Raul recalled the memory of his past month. When his father stopped him, he accepted the decision and just charged at Count Melvin. Count Melvin challenged, is this all you got, son? I'll show you a real sword skill. Raul thought to himself, I passed out from his strike. He said it was just a sneak peek of what he had, but that was definitely his full strength. This powerful 5th county lord dies by the time the world of Connect starts, and after that, the county falls quickly. In order to stop the fall, father has to stay alive. I'll have to meet his expectations since he let me leave. I'll get stronger and protect my family. I can't lose it all. Meanwhile, seeing through his window, Count Melvin observes Raul leaving, thinking to himself about that kid. He recalls the memory when he told Raul to give up, asking how many times he had tried. In response, Raul said he would never give up. Count Melvin complimented Raul's persistence. Yes, that's worthy of the Ashton family's dignity. Come, strike me. Surprised by the trajectory of Raul's sword changing midway, Raul thought to himself, I can only leave a small wound even with psychokinesis. Acknowledging that it's about time to admit that Raul is no longer a kid, but a proud swordsman, Count Melvin pondered to himself, go, Raul, go and witness the world. At night, as they gathered near the fire to rest, Raul inquired of Sir Philip about their distance to the destination. The status window displayed details about Philip, a 42-year-old high knight. affiliated with Ashton County and the Golden Bear Order, bearing the title Swordbreaker. Philip, with a level of 92 and grade S potential talent. Philip responded by saying at this speed, "We will make it in 5 days. Should we move faster?" Raul, considering the soldiers' training, replied, "No, we need to train the soldiers as well. Let's keep going at this speed." Philip acknowledged, and Raul, reflecting, noted that his family had selected a total of 50 individuals, including 3 regular knights, 6 trainee knights, 15 trainees, and 20 cavalry, all possessing grade B or higher potential talent. Recognizing the need for strength to prevent the fall of Ashton family, Raul emphasized the importance of everyone getting stronger. At that moment, Jake approached Raul and addressed him, saying, "Young master, the maintenance for the carriage is completed. We can get going whenever." Raul responded, "Okay, good work." Jake questioned the need to bring so many people to the destination for a month. Philip intervened, telling Jake to stop questioning the young master's orders. Raul asserted, "You'll know when you get there. The reason I'm taking you guys there." The destination was Free City Mira, one of the first cities players visit after finishing the tutorial. This city was rich in quests, hidden items, and had mono usage limitations to prevent unreasonable beginner player massacres. Most of all, the resources are infinite, so the players went crazy about this place. God's Domain, a place full of monsters for players to grind. The God's Domain is the reason why Raul brought everyone to this city. The purpose was to expedite the soldiers leveling up in the grinding zone. A perfect plan. A window popped up, displaying updated system information. The system introduced a new feature, Connect Community, and unlocked a new category, Guild. Additionally, new quests, Staring Line of Adventure and Skill Collector, were registered. Observing this, Raul thought to himself, "Wow, a new quest as soon as I entered Mira. I thought I wouldn't be able to use any other features until the official launch. Nice, maybe I can unlock more features if I meet the requirements." His thoughts were interrupted by Jake, saying, "Sir Raul, you can meet the mayor right now. What would you like to do?" Raul responded, "Of course, I'll meet him." The mayor of Free City Mira, Reynaldo, inquired of his butler, "Who's here?" The butler replied, "The youngest son of County Ashton, Raul Ashton. He has come to visit with 50 of his people." Reynaldo, aware of Raul being the third son known for being weak, questioned, "What is he here for?" "Fresh air. Let them in. His family makes good money off monster materials. I'll rip some money off this kid." The butler acknowledged, understood. A little later, the door opened, and Raul greeted Mayor Reynaldo. The mayor responded, "Welcome, Sir Raul. I sincerely welcome you to the Free City, Mira." Raul expressed his gratitude, and Reynaldo suggested, "Let's sit over there and talk." Privately, Raul thought, "What a weasel. What an obvious fake smile." Reynaldo then asked, "So, Sir Raul, what brought you to Mira?" Raul replied, "I heard there's an excellent place to train here." Reynaldo affirmed, "Of course there is. You came to the perfect place. Mira is the safest place to train." Raul asserted, "It can't be an ordinary place. I would like to be permitted to enter the cursed forest." With a hint of nervousness, Reynaldo inquired, "What, cursed forest? It's too dangerous, especially for weaklings like I meant for younger people." Raul responded, "As I expected. Then I guess I have no choice. I guess I have to throw away the 500,000 golds that I was going to give you as gratuity in the river." Reynaldo exclaimed, 500,000 golds, Sir Raul, I was joking. The cursed forest would be easy for you and your knights. I give you permission to enter the forest." Raul said, "I knew a generous mayor like you would permit us." Privately, Raul thought to himself, "Now, the only thing left to do is grind and take all the rewards. I'll be at the top of Connect soon." The city known as Mirror was designed as a hub for connecting players in their virtual lives. In this closed beta phase, there are no inhabitants except for one individual, Raul Ashton. This unique circumstance has plunged the city into a crisis, given its extensive infrastructure of accommodations, large stores, guild buildings, and various facilities, all disproportionate to its current population. Land prices have plummeted as a result. Raul Ashton's true motive for being in Mirror is real estate acquisition, aiming to secure affordable land that will later be developed into luxury houses for nobles, guild houses for players, and apartments for regular players. He anticipates a substantial increase in land value in the future, particularly when players join and conflicts arise, akin to the remembered past. Mirror, once a city blessed by the gods, becomes an ideal refuge during times of war. Raul Ashton acknowledges that merely leasing land, as was profitable in the past, is insufficient. Given the impending war and potential risks, he is determined to be even more prepared this time. In a defiant stance against major guilds, he expresses confidence that this venture will differ from his past life, where he couldn't contend with their financial prowess. Jake inquired of Raul, "So, I just have to sign right here?" Raul, in a loud voice, responded, "Yes, everyone has signed except you. Just sign right here." Jake expressed caution, stating, "But my mom told me to be careful when signing papers." The girl confirmed, including Sir Raul, a total of 51. Creating and registering for the guild first is complete. Raul pondered to himself, "I created the first guild in a world without players. The very first and most advanced guild, first. They will get assistance from the system as members of the guild. I'm excited to see the confused look on their faces." At the Battle Association Mirror Branch office, Raul announced, "I'm next." The girl at the reception welcomed him, asking, "How may I help you?" Raul stated, "I'm here to see some skill books." "What's the highest rank you have here?" Skill books are books with different skills written in them. If one reads attentively, the skill can be acquired. The skill ranks range from rank F to rank S. The representative mentioned, "Our branch office offers up to rank C skill books, but rank C skill books can only be purchased by VIP customers." Raul inquired, "What are the requirements to be a VIP?" She explained, "Either through contributing to the association through quests, or stacking up purchases. But for stacking up purchases, you'd have to spend a lot." Raul further queried, "How much?" She responded, 10,000 golds, sir." Raul remarked, "That's not much." "Here, can I see the D rank ones first?" She asked, "Which line of skill books would you like to see first? Sword, bow magic, or shield?" Raul replied, "All of them." Shortly after, Jake commented, "Too heavy." "Sir Raul, do we really need all these books?" Raul responded, "You may think it's a bother now, but those books will advance you to a higher level." Jake acknowledged, "I guess they are well descriptive skill books, but can't you only train through books at the beginner level?" Philip chimed in, "I agree. We could have bought power armor with the money spent on these books." Raul assured them, "You will know tomorrow. Don't worry and be patient." In the room, Raul contemplated, "Maybe it is too much." There were limits on the number of skills players could use, so normally, players couldn't use various skills. He instructed, "Quest window." Raul further reflected, "When I woke up in Raul's body, there were 2 unknown items in the inventory. I can't click them or use them. But then, yesterday, when I got the quest, I was finally able to use those items. I found out that one of them was sealed skill dex. What if the reward for this quest is the skill dex's activation?" On the information window displaying the quest skill collector, quest, skill collector grade, and known objective, collect at least 10 skill books and register them in the skill dex. Extra rewards will be awarded depending on the type of skill books. Reward, skill dex activation. Extra reward, unlocks trait unknown, acquires skill unknown. Raul muttered, "So I have to open the dex and hold the skill book, then said, "Register." The dex page moved on its own, and a purple light from the skill book moved towards the dex, displaying the first skill on the dex. "Raul exclaimed, "It worked," and thought to himself, "The sliver of mana, and the book is gone. It's going to take forever to do them all." He asked himself, "Is there a way to register them all at once?" Suddenly, all the skill books started floating in the air. Purple lights emerged for each skill book, hitting the decks. Raul pondered. "What? Does it understand what I said? I guess. It worked." System window appeared, displaying information. Quest. Skill collector quest completed. Check the rewards. Skill Dex Rare has been activated. Extra reward trait Skill Collector Grade X has been unlocked. Extra reward Copycat Grade S has been acquired. Another window provided details about the collector skill, Grade X, effect, activation of Skill Dex. Skill Copycat slightly increases the chance of acquiring skills from a skill book. Copycat Grade S Mastery, Beginner Level 3, effect, steals skills from the examined opponent. Examined skills are registered in the dex. As mastery goes up, you can acquire higher ranked skills, and the power of the skills increases. Current copyable rank, B. Raul exclaimed, "This is overpowered. I can steal and use someone else's skill." A system window appeared, presenting information about the skill dex, grade, rare, status, upgradable, bounded, description, replica of the mythic item skill dex that holds records of ancient skills. Records reset while crossing dimensions. It will regain its true power after achieving special requirements. Currently recorded skills, 525 skills. Raul thought to himself, "I knew it. This is the mythical item I got right before I died. Some parts of my past life, like my psychokinesis trait and items, came with me, but my skills were reset, and it's a replica too. The only thing left is 3 grade X traits and 1 item in the inventory. I wonder what kind of power it holds." The following morning, all members of Raul's first guild found themselves confused, while see a system window, leading them to exclaimed, What is this status window? What is this thing called guild chat? Priest, I need to go see a priest." Meanwhile, Butler Bernard greeted Raul, saying, "Welcome, young master." Raul, reflecting on his sleepless night spent reading through the skill decks, said, "Good morning, Bernard. Did you explain it to them?" Bernard replied, "Yes, I explained as you instructed." Excitedly, Raul asked, "How about the skill book? Have you tried it?" Internally, Raul thought, "This man's name is Bernard, Ashton's family's servant and even stepson. He has been working for the county from a young age and was taught by Ivan himself. He has a great memory and gets things done quickly. But there's another reason why I chose Bernard. He has the power to control the wind." Raul then exclaimed, "Amazing. I knew you could do it, Bernard." In response, Bernard modestly said, "I am flattered." The status window displayed the following information. Name, Bernard, age 27 years. Level, 21. Class, servant, beginner windwalker. Affiliation, Ashton County, 1st Guild. Talents, administration, management, wind, power. Stats, potential talent grader, strength 17, agility 18, stamina 24, intelligence 53, willpower 46, spiritual power 23, senses 41, unique traits, sharp manager grader, cold-headed grade B, like the wind grade B. Raul continued his thoughts, noting, he lacks stats but has great talent for being a servant or an esper. I'm done with my preparations. Raul then instructed Bernard, saying, "Get ready." Confused, Bernard asked, "Yes, sir, what for?" Raul explained, "We are leaving as soon as the knights are used to it, to God's domain, the cursed forest." In the cursed forest, an ogre targeted Raul with its weapon, but he skillfully dodged the attack by leaping into the air. Raul taunted the ogre, saying, to slow, and countered with a powerful fist, demolishing the ogre's head with a single punch. Following the encounter, Raul confidently declared, come out already. Suddenly, a large group of ogres surrounded Raul shouting, human, strong, kill the human. The ogre chief commanded, everyone, charge together and kill the human. All the ogres rushed from various directions to attack Raul. However, Raul stood firm, challenging them. Bring it on. In the cursed forest, God's domain. The term God's domain encompasses more than just a grinding zone. It represents the entirety of the city of Mirror. For players, the city functions as a haven where injuries are healed, and if they perish, they revive within this blessed city. This unique feature makes Mirror the ultimate shelter. However, within the forest, this blessing, exclusive to monsters, maintaining a consistent number even after being defeated. Humans cannot be revived in the cursed forest, and attempting to carry items acquired from hunting monsters outside the forest results in their transformation into ashes and disappearance. This emphasizes the prohibition of touching the property of the gods, although this restriction solely applies to civilians. Players, on the other hand, can take items obtained from monsters outside the forest with the assistance of the system. Intrigued by the power, the ogre chief asked, what is that power, human? Raul, utilizing his trait psychokinesis, swiftly dispatched the ogre chief, stating, this is psychokinesis. Jake commented, what a convenient ability, prompting Philip to urge, stop talking, and keep skinning the ogres. Jake expressed reluctance, saying, I didn't come all the way to Mirror to do this. I guess we've made good progress from this training, Sir Raul. Raul laughed and graciously acknowledged, thank you. It was possible because of everyone's help. All of you can get stronger by studying the skill books. Philip acknowledged, he's right, recalling a memory when he used a skill to instantly defeat an ogre. Raul inquired, how's that? That's why I bought skill books instead of power armor. Philip expressed amazement. In the present moment, Philip thought to himself, I learned a skill so quickly. How did the young master find out about this strange ability? Checking the guild chat, he became shocked and exclaimed, young master. In the guild chat, Raul responded, I saw too. We are going back to Mirror now. Simultaneously, in the Free City Mirror, Randall Visconti's first son, Ramon, shouted, I should have done this earlier. It was hard holding myself back after seeing you Ashton kids walking around. Randall Visconti's second son, Jerry, admonished Ramon, saying, you should have listened to me earlier, brother. Then we could have done this way sooner. One of the injured knights questioned their actions, asking, why are you doing this? Randall Visconti's third son, Cale, pondered, but didn't great-grandfather tell us to be mindful? We're all here because we made a scene. A knight warned them, you will regret this. Our young master will take his, but was abruptly silenced as Ramon used his sword to kill the knight. Ramon urgently shouted, please tell him to hurry up. We also have some business with that young master, anyway. This is strange, they keep reviving. Jerry proposed, let's take care of this Raul kid like this. Cale reminded them, I thought noble families weren't supposed to point swords at each other in the Free City. Ramon dismissed the concern, asking, what's the matter? We can just say we never did it. What are they going to do about it? If you think about it, this is good. We can just crush the Ashton family. Maybe great-grandfather will even compliment us. At that moment, Raymond's head burst, leaving Cale nervously exclaiming, brother. They turned their attention backward, only to find Raul standing behind them in anger. Raul declared, how dare you? This offense towards the Ashton County. You will have to pay back with more than just your worthless deaths. Jerry exclaimed to Raul, are you crazy? How dare you touch a son of the Randall family? Cale questioned, what are the knights doing? How did he even get here? A knight from the Randall family speculated, I think they're the Ashton family's main force. Philip reported to Raul, saying, "We've surrounded the Randall Knights as you ordered, young master. We also made sure there were no civilians nearby." Raul acknowledged, "Good work, everyone." Utilizing his psychokinesis trait, he lifted all 3 injured knights of Ashton and instructed Bernard, saying, "Take them to the shrine." Bernard responded, "Yes, sir." Then Raul extracted his sword from his inventory, asserting, "I'll clean the garbage myself." The Randall Viscounty, akin to the Ashton County, belonged to the 5 warrior families of the Reuben Kingdom. However, in contrast to the Ashton family, the Randall family lacked an extensive history. The consolidation of the 4 warrior families into the 5 warrior families occurred when the current Lord, Viscount Hudson Randall, reached the swordmaster stage. As a family with a short history, they had to devise various strategies to secure their position, consistently producing great knights, making respectable contributions, and overpowering their opponents. Their target was the Ashton County, which had lost its influence due to the absence of a swordmaster for an extended period. Agitating the Ashton family posed no risks, considering they were the least politically inclined. Numerous conflicts between the 2 families unfolded across the kingdom, with most initiated by the Randall family. The prevailing expectation was that Randall Viscounty would emerge victorious, considering their abundance of sword masters. The people of Randall were thinking the same would happen here. Jerry contemplated. What is that unusual strength? He pulled out a sword from the air. Meanwhile, Raul approached Jerry, prompting a Randall knight to attempt unsheathing his sword. Raul swiftly noticed and immediately dispatched the knight with his sword, instilling fear in the other Randall knights. Philip conveyed, "Young master said he would take care of them himself." "Everyone, put down your swords." Jeremy thought to himself, "They are really putting away their swords. Are they insane? I mean, it's better for us." Kale shouted, "You are going to fight us by yourself. This isn't training." As Kale attempted to attack Raul, he swiftly cut him in half. Jerry addressed the Randall Knights, exclaiming, "You bastards! What are you guys doing just standing over there?" The knights turned towards Jeremy, who stepped forward, stating, "I guess I have to do it. I stood there because I didn't want to bully a 15-year-old kid. But if I don't act when my comrades are going down, it's not right." A window displaying Jeremy's status information popped up. Name: Jeremy, age 37 years. Level: 65. Class: Leader of God Knights, beginner sword expert. Affiliation: Randall Viscounty, Randall Knights. Stats: Potential talent grade B, strength 66, agility 72, stamina 68, intelligence 48, willpower 63, mana 70, senses 55, unique traits, brutality grade C. Jeremy instructed his knights to get ready. Raul reflected, Randall family's main weapon, Reaper. I guess those are the elites. Meanwhile, Jeremy and 3 other knights formed a formation to attack Raul. Continuing his thoughts, Raul noted, the leader's level is 65, and the other elites are also in their 60s. My current level is 45. I can't win against them normally. 2 of the front knights addressed Raul, with one saying, "Why don't you stop now? I think you did enough." The other added, "We let you be, but no more. Don't care even if you're a young master." To their surprise, Raul rushed towards them and swiftly eliminated one knight. Employing the bear strike skill, he created an opening and successfully took down the other knight. Jeremy advanced and attacked Raul, who skillfully blocked the attack, but causing Raul to be pushed backward. Concerned, Jeremy inquired of the remaining standing knight, "Are you okay?" The knight affirmed, "Yes, I'm fine." Jeremy thought to himself, 2 of my elites went down just like that. I heard he was weak and didn't know how to wield a sword. He then pulled out a dagger, now equipped with a reaper in one hand and a dagger in the other, stating to Raul, "You're different from the rumors. I'll have to get serious now." Meanwhile, unfazed, Raul responded, "Bring it on." Raul pondered to himself, a parrying dagger and a reaper. Is he using Randall Viscounty's sword skill shooting star? Jeremy, feeling a bit nervous, remarked to Raul, I like your bravery. But you know that every wound is healed in mirror, right? You can't fight us all alone. In reply, Raul stated, I think you are the one confused. I bet you and your knights didn't even train after arriving in Mira. Jeremy was taken aback by Raul's remark and thought to himself, how did he know? His contemplation was interrupted when Raul responded, how did I know? Those soldiers over there, shaking in their boots even after their wounds have healed, are living proof. They are not used to death. Inwardly, Jeremy reflected, this guy, he doesn't just know about combat. He can see through everything. He's a threat. Jeremy instructed the knight, cover me from the back. The knight confidently responded, leave it to me, sir. Following this, Jeremy hurriedly advanced to attack Raul, who prepared himself to block the assault. However, he found himself pushed backward by the combined attacks of both Jeremy and the knight, resulting in numerous cuts across his body. Seizing an opening in Raul's defense, the knight broke formation and rushed to attack, only to be swiftly killed by Raul in a single swing of his sword. Jeremy, in his thoughts, considered, he is a fool, shit, there's no time to waste, and promptly utilized his skill, Randall's sword vision shooting star. Observing the situation, Raul thought to himself, bring it, I will take you head on. As expected, it is a powerful skill known for its 1 versus 1 combat prowess. I'm struggling even with psychokinesis. I have to keep up. Meanwhile, Jeremy reflected, how, I'm definitely dominating this fight. I've pressed him all the way back. So then, and shouted, what's up with those arrogant eyes? Raul responded with 100%, leaving Jeremy confused about its meaning. In the midst of this, he was attacked by Raul, causing both his sword and dagger to be dropped. At that moment, a window popped up, displaying information. Opponent's skill examination has been 100% completed. Copycat is ready for use. Copy the exact moves using Copycat to engrave the skill into the decks. Raul utilized his trait psychokinesis to control both the dagger and sword of Jeremy, leaving Jeremy visibly shocked. Another window appeared, presenting information. Copycat, activate skill, Randall's sword skill shooting star grade B. Raul instructed the system to activate it and employed the shooting star skill to attack Jeremy. Confused, Jeremy thought to himself, how, this is definitely shooting star. Jeremy shouted while blocking Raul's attacks, who is it, who betrayed us and taught you this sword skill? Raul started laughing and replied, you taught me yourself. At that moment, Raul used the dagger to eliminate Jeremy. A status window popped up, displaying information, 100% synchronization, rank S bonus, Randall's sword skill shooting star, grade B mastery level adjusted to intermediate level 1. Successfully engraved Randall's sword skill shooting star grade B into the skill decks. Equip the skill in the skill deck selection slot 2. Use Randall's sword skill shooting star grade B continuously. Raul thought to himself, it's over. Using the rank S skill Copycat is hard since it's overpowered. Copycat is a skill I learned with the skill DX that copies the opponent's skill, but it can only copy one skill at a time, and I can't lose sight of the target once the skill is activated. If I lose sight of the target, the examination rate resets. That's why I didn't even blink when I was taking his attacks. Also, it's impossible to steal a skill unless it's a 1 versus 1 fight. Raul instructed the system, saying, display skill. A window popped up, showcasing the user's skills. Default skill slot, Ashton Vision sword skill Bear Crush grader, intermediate level 2. Psychokinesis grade S intermediate, level 2. Ashton Mind skill grader, intermediate level 1. Copycat grade S, beginner level 6. Basic meditation grade E, beginner level 8. Skill deck select slots, Flash grade C beginner, Level 6. Shield Grade C. Beginner Level 6. Skill Dex Random Slot. Iron Fist Grade D. Intermediate Level 1. Raul contemplated, acknowledging, thanks to the skill dex, I can use 3 more skills. Selection slots allow me to freely use 2 skills registered in the skill dex. I will use it here. Turning towards Jerry, who questioned, Who are you? How do you use the Randall sword? Skill, Raul responded, You're still here. Philip, kill them every time they revive for an hour. Philip acknowledged, Yes, sir. Everyone heard him. Kill them. All the knights responded, Yes, sir. Jerry pleaded, Please forgive me. Raul reflected, Blood for blood. This isn't Earth or a game. This is the reality that's been presented to me. I have to do everything to not lose it. Again, even if that means wading through a pool of blood, I am not losing. Reynaldo observed the unfolding fight through his window, muttering, What in the world is going on right now? According to the plan, when those Randall Viscountcy guys attacked that bastard, I was supposed to get my share after mobilizing the gods to help, but that bastard beat up 15 knights on his own. As Raul noticed him, he turned and looked directly towards Reynaldo. Feeling scared, Reynaldo quickly sat down to avoid being seen by Raul. He thought to himself, What? How did he find out I was here? Wasn't that bastard just a rich and good-looking pushover? At that moment, Raul instructed his knights, Let's leave. The knights responded with a unanimous, Yes. Reynaldo continued with his thoughts. Then, by any chance, is he a hidden swordmaster of the county? If that's the case, he must have figured out all my plans as well. I'll have to be friendly with the Ashton County in the future. Back in his room, Raul pondered. I did overdo it a bit. Suddenly, a quest window appeared, displaying information. Rival family challenge. Result, rescue and punishment completed. Measured grade. B reward, experience, 30,000 coins player store only. Random grade B skill book, draw ticket. Raul, contemplating to himself, acknowledged. These rewards are quite substantial. In addition to securing around 5,000 gold, I obtained a space-expanding magic bag capable of holding a carriage's worth of luggage. A unique grade Reaper and a main gauche set were also added, courtesy of those scoundrels from Randall County. The real gem here is the B-grade skill book draw ticket. Did I really get all duds from the tournament skill book rewards? Reflecting on it now, that was quite absurd. I don't need something extraordinary, but please, let it at least be a mid-tier one this time. No, I just hope it's not a dud. Please, please. As Raul gazed at the system window, it revealed the acquired skill book, Rivera, Spearmanship Grade B. Raul expressed, Nice, spearsmanship is a necessary skill in my next destination, the capital. My luck seems to be following me, isn't it? Then, there's only one more important thing I have to do in Mira now. I've invested 1 month here for that, and I will make sure to succeed. A week later, Raul engaged in combat with an ogre in the cursed forest, successfully killing it. A window popped up, indicating level up. Player Raul has reached level 51. You have achieved the level necessary for promotion. You may decide the possible promotion. And another window displaying information. It was confirmed that Raul's job was a sword user, and he achieved the status of a beginner psychokinetic. The proficiency of job-related skills, including Ashton family inherited swordsmanship, Bear Crush Grade A+, and Randall swordsmanship shooting star Grade B, was outlined. Additionally, the skill psychokinetic Grade S had advanced to mid-level 2. A separate window conveyed. You have satisfied the promotion requirements. Your job sword user has changed into sword expert. Your job beginner psychokinetic has changed into intermediate psychokinetic. Philip exclaimed, That's amazing, young master. Jake added, That's awesome. A sword expert at 15 years old. To demonstrate his newfound strength, Raul utilized his psychokinetic trait, lifting nearby. rocks and consolidating them into one location. With swift movement, he rushed towards the gathered rocks, unleashing the skill bear strike in a powerful attack. Raul inquired of Philip and Jake. Should it be like this? Philip praised. That's wonderful, as expected of the young master. Jake, with a laugh, remarked, you can now do this without us. Then, we should also take a breather and relax. However, Jake's comment was cut short by Philip, who countered, what do you mean relax? Think about how much you've got to catch up on to keep pace with the young master. Jake addressed Philip, saying, that was a joke, since the young master has worked so hard. I was just saying that we can take it easy. Philip retorted, in any case, you're all talk. Raul stated, regardless of whether it was a joke or not, I don't plan on taking a break yet. Philip asked Raul, then what would you like to do? Jake suggested, shall we contact the family? The Count will be thrilled. In response, Raul conveyed, I'll tell my family myself later. Let's just keep it a secret between us for the time being. Both Philip and Jake agreed. Raul thought to himself, I've hunted enough monsters and leveled up enough as well. I've laid all the bait out. All that remains is for the prey to take the bait. Now, hurry and move, dogs of the Empire. Raul then said, then, let's go back now. Both Philip and Jake responded, yes, young master. The alchemist Nokia addressed his customer, take care. This marks the end of today's work. The potions are very popular these days. It's thanks to the Ashton County who brought these here. In order to produce potions, monster byproducts are needed. As monsters rarely appear in the cursed forest, I wasn't able to easily obtain them all this time. But thanks to the Ashton County's people who started bringing the monster byproducts, I've managed to produce potions every day now. Moreover, the people from the county visit my village shop each morning, inquiring about the night, offering help, and checking on my well-being. Could that have been Raul? He's a bit peculiar, but I'm grateful. And he's good-looking too. Oh my, what am I thinking? Get yourself together, Nokia. He's only 15 years old, 3 years younger than you, and he's a noble. Nokia arrived at her home and, upon opening the door, called out, Nikki, where are you? Annie is back. While searching for Nikki, she was startled to find a letter pierced with a knife. Retrieving the letter, she read, we're taking your little sister. If you want to save her, don't tell anyone about this and wait for the next instructions. In a fearful voice, Nokia exclaimed, this, please, not Nikki. In her thoughts, she realized that her sister's life would be at risk if they ventured outside the city. Aware of reports on kidnappings being investigated by the city government, she acknowledged the validity of the rumors. Contemplating her options, she faced a dilemma. Going to the city government seemed risky, as kidnappers might be watching. The city guards were unlikely to extend help beyond the city limits. Consulting mercenaries or the adventurer guild would take time. She grappled with the question, what should she do? Recalling Raul's words, she remembered him saying, if you are ever in any trouble, come find me. Nokia contemplated, acknowledging that this might be her only option. I have to go see him. A message popped up, indicating Nokia heading towards Raul. Raul, realizing the situation, ordered his knights to take their positions, stay vigilant, and report any changes. With his directive echoed by the knights, Raul accessed the community communication system. A window popped up, displaying information as Raul accessed Connect Community. In his thoughts, Raul reflected on Link Cafe, a premium member-only information hub he operated in his past life. As a star player, he utilized the cafe to gather valuable information from fans and informants, turning it into an information treasury holding nearly every hidden detail in Connect. Though the cafe still existed, Raul considered it a jackpot, a resource to replace his uncertain memories for better planning. The current window displayed information, now searching for Free City Mirror. Continuing with his thoughts, Raul reviewed, okay, I checked every quest I could possibly take. Now I have to hope everything goes as planned. His contemplation was abruptly interrupted by a knight announcing Sir Nokia is here. Reflecting inwardly, Raul pondered, can I change her future? He then instructed the knight, okay, treat her politely. Further delving into his thoughts, Raul considered Nokia, the bearer of titles like Crazy Alchemist, Blood-Hungry Witch, and Taboo Destroyer. Nokia struck fear into everyone, conducting experiments on humans as revenge against the Empire. Although the Empire was her main target for her chemical weapons, innocent civilians also became entangled. Now, Nokia stood before Raul as a desperate girl seeking his help. Interrupting his thoughts, Nokia urgently said to Raul, please help, Nikki's gone. Remaining composed, Raul reassured, calm down, she'll be fine. I'll help. Explain what happened. Nokia explained, my sister got kidnapped. She should have been home 2 hours ago since the lady next door was taking care of her. Please find my sister. She's just a poor kid. It's all my fault. Raul comforted her, saying, don't worry, I'll make sure we find her. I think I know where she's at. Nokia pleaded, really, please save her. Raul assured, I'll let you know as soon as I find her, so stay here. Bernard will help you. Bernard responded, please let me know if you need anything. And you made an excellent choice. Young master keeps his promises. Philip shared, Pierce is tracking them down. And this, I got permission to operate from Mayor Reynaldo. Raul acknowledged, nice. A window popped up, displaying information about the raid quest in Free City Mirror. Grade, D to B objective, defeat unknown rogues. Additional objective, rescue hostages and raid the hideouts in the forest. Description, an unknown group of rogues is active in the forest around Mirror City. Mayor Reynaldo has requested a raid on the rogues that have been kidnapping and interfering with trades. Regain peace by raiding the rogues' base. Reward, large amount of experience and coins. Recognition from the mayor, unknown. Raul inquired, good. Did you give him the list of rats? Philip replied, yes, the mayor said he will reward us for it later. Raul reflected, he was surprised as well. I gave him the list of rogues hidden in the city. I used the information from my informants and data from the cafe link. I've already used too many resources, so I made sure that there are no holes in our plan. Addressing his knights, Raul commanded, let's go. The assembled knights responded in unison, yes, sir. Meanwhile, 2 individuals observed them from behind bushes. Simultaneously, in Ashton County, a golden bear knight from Raul's guard named Pierce lurked in the bushes. Internally, he pondered, found it. Judging by the traces on the ground, this must be it. Initiate operation. He then leaped into a nearby tree, contemplating, let's try using the new skill I learned. Detection, phantom magic circles and barriers. Young master was right. I will have to report this. A window popped up, displaying the message. We will be there in 5 minutes. Reflecting on this, Pierce thought to himself, this reminds me of 5 months ago. Youngest son, Raul. He was known for his weakness and talentlessness compared to his brothers. Many servants and knights didn't want to travel with Raul. Even when he was looking for volunteers, no one seemed interested for a long time. When Raul visited the knights' training ground and started talking to knights himself, he had conversed with Pierce as well. Raul said, Sir Pierce, you said you wanted to go past your limits. I can help with that. Raul wielded Pierce's sword himself and started pointing out the issues. Pierce pondered. I did say I want to go past my limits, but how is this kid going to teach me anything? I guess I can try it out. Every move felt smoother. Reflecting on what Raul had said to him previously, Pierce remembered. It'll be hard for you to learn Bear Crush. Your strength lies in agility, not power. You should try polishing your bow skills. I heard you are a talented bowman. Only a few people know about my bow skill, yet he noticed it. Maybe he's the one who can really help me. I'll follow him. Returning to the present, Pierce concluded, it was the best decision I've made. Everyone who declined his offer is probably regretting it right now. I don't know why he's been hiding his power. I reached the high expert stage with the skill books he gave us and was able to practice my other skills. It would be impossible without him. Maybe today will be the glorious day when he shows his true strength. Spotting Raul, Pierce leaped from the tree, bowing before him, and said, "You have arrived, sir." A window popped up, revealing information about the unknown rogue's hideout. Grade unknown, size unknown, status, a 3-circle or higher magic circle that interferes with vision. It also had a 3-circle magic circle that interrupts anyone who approaches. The objective was to destroy the magic circle or get inside to learn more information. Observing the hideouts, Raul mused, hideouts look the same even in different cities. Kranan Empire's spies were hiding in Mira. Normally, Connect players get quests from starting cities like Mira and receive rewards for killing monsters or rogues. However, there are some unusual rogues, the slave trader who kidnaps people in the city, mercenaries trying to make it big. But the most dangerous of them all is the Kranan Empire's spies, the Imperial Hounds. They hunt players and blackmail them to prevent them from gathering together. They are crucial in late game as well, so I can't let them be. Subsequently, Raul signaled Pierce to attack. Utilizing his bow skills, Pierce swiftly eliminated two rogues positioned at the gate entrance. Observing the entrance, Raul contemplated. There's no one near the entrance. I'll dispel the magic circle with the scroll I bought from the shop. Wait, I can see the mana flow. Can I do this? Raul then infused mana into his weapon and struck the magic circle, successfully breaking it. A window popped up, displaying the information magic circle destroyed. Internally, Raul noted, "Nice. Now, instead of buying scrolls, I can save money." Pierce directed his subordinates, saying, "Jackson and Nil, lure them like we planned. I'll let you know when to enter." Both responded, "Yes, sir." Meanwhile, Raul thought to himself, "Nice, I have elite knights here. Let's hunt them all." Near the entrance, Raul instructed the knights, stating, "They don't need captives. They will hunt them all. Don't forget to use this for the last blow." In response, Jake expressed to Raul, "I don't understand why we should use this stick, but I will follow your orders. This doesn't even seem to be a task where we need to use weapons anyway." Addressing Knight Pierce, Raul instructed, "Watch out for us and find where the kidnapped people are. We need to save Miss Nokia's younger sister Nikki. Prioritize her." Pierce responded, saying, "I got it." Raul then commanded, "Let's go in," and utilized his psychokinesis trait to open the door. Together with his knights, Raul entered, walking for a little while until they reached the hideout of the rogues. Pierce employed his camouflage skill to hide himself and moved towards the hideout. After some time, a window popped up displaying information. Pierce has successfully infiltrated the opponent's base. Raul, in his thoughts, considered, "Good. Let's start hunting now." High cave ceiling and wooden fences spread around. Their levels are around 30 to 31, not much different from regular thieves. Since I've checked the base, I should give the orders. Then, Raul issued orders to both Philip and Jake, using a gesture of his finger to commence the attack. Swiftly and silently, Raul and his knights moved, remaining unnoticed by their opponents. The command was clear: kill the enemies present on the wooden fence quickly. The leader of the rogues, upon seeing them, alerted his fellow rogues, stating, "There are intruders. Guard the fences and kill them all." Inwardly contemplating the situation, Raul recognized the escalating threat. "Their numbers are increasing, and they're even starting to block my arrows," he thought, while concern etched on his face. A rogue, spotting Raul, urgently signaled, "Over there, shoot him down." With precision, they shot arrows at Raul, who deftly employed his psychokinetic ability to deflect the incoming projectiles. The rogue who launched the arrow, frustrated by Raul's skill, muttered, "That bastard," bounced off the arrow. "Hey, get some backup from downstairs. Over there." Panic set in as the realization struck. Arrows don't work on him. Jump on him and attack. The urgency in the rogue's voice echoed through the hideout, setting the stage for an intense confrontation. Meanwhile, Raul contemplated. I guess I'll have to use this now. Swiftly, he retrieved numerous daggers. In the midst of this, an assailant attempted to attack Raul, but he skillfully blocked the assault, pushing the attacker away. Raul harnessed his psychokinetic ability to collect all nearby arrows scattered on the ground. Witnessing this unfold, the opponents displayed visible shock at Raul's skills. In a decisive moment, Raul turned the tables, launching an offensive with the arrows and the array of daggers at his disposal, all manipulated through his psychokinetic ability. Despite his onslaught, some opponents managed to survive, adding an element of uncertainty to the unfolding confrontation. Reflecting inwardly, Raul considered, it's still not powerful enough. I have to exert more force on it to pierce through armor. With determination, he leaped forward to dispatch the injured enemies. In the midst of the skirmish, thoughts raced through Raul's mind. He questioned the whereabouts of the remaining adversaries. To his observation, Jake was actively eliminating an opponent. Jake then shifted his attention to a second enemy, channeling mana into his Reaper again. With an intense expression, he executed a lethal strike, killing the opponent. Raul pondered, observing Jake's rebellion against using the rapier. He doesn't have to make such movements that waste mana. Ashton told him several times not to do that to avoid leaving any traces of swordsmanship. But well, I don't think I have to be too worried. Good. We're almost done taking care of the small fries. Pierce apologized to Raul, stating, sorry, sir. We searched the entire prison, but we couldn't find Miss Nikki. Raul responded, it's okay. Did you explain things to the captive villagers? Pierce replied, yes. We have distributed the clothes and food, and told them to wait in one place until the battle ends. Jake inquired, but sir, do you think there are other enemies? Aren't they just thieves? Raul observed, they are, but don't you think it's a little weird? Jake inquired, weird? How? Raul explained, first, Nikki, who was kidnapped, isn't here. Second, there were many of them, but none stood out amongst the rest. Lastly, there was a magic circle on the entrance. Did any one of you see a wizard here? In conclusion, the important people and captives are in another place. Right, Jake remarked, that's true. But if we can't find that place, it'll all be useless. Don't you think so? Pierce, in response, Pierce mentioned, I actually checked some suspicious-looking places, but I couldn't find anything with my abilities. There could be a high-level magic circle or system. Raul acknowledged, it hasn't even been a month since you became our guild member. But you are good. Soon, no one will be able to fool your eyes. Pierce expressed gratitude, and Raul instructed, now, follow me. I think I know where they are. A moment later, Raul and his knights arrived in front of a hut. Raul instructed, search this hut. Report right away if you see something suspicious. The knights acknowledged with a yes, sir. After a while, Philip informed Raul, we couldn't find anything suspicious. Raul inquired, is this the fourth hut? Noticing something on the floor, Raul alerted, get ready. The real thing begins now. He kicked the table and channeled his mana into the Reaper, striking the floor with it, revealing a metal door beneath the broken wooden floor. Raul utilized his psychokinesis trait to open the door. He thought, secret stairs leading to the basement. Looking down the stairs, he remarked, something's coming. A red monster emerged from the basement and attacked Jake. Startled, Jake exclaimed, what is this? Meanwhile, Philip cautioned, don't step away. It will be harder to fight them if we scatter. As a monster rushed forward to attack, Raul retaliated, pushing it back with his Reaper attack. Philip informed the others, they are the Imperial Demon Cavalry. Their vital points are different from humans. Cut their heads. Jake, surprised, exclaimed, what are they doing in this place? Meanwhile, Raul considered, I should study their traits first. as he jumped forward and killed one of the monsters. A window popped up, displaying information about the monster. Incomplete Imperial Demon Cavalry, Level 41, Type 1, Cranon Imperial Demon Cavalry. Continuing with his thoughts, Raul reflected, just what I'd expected. I had a hard time in the past because of these guys. Recalling his past life, Bae DoHyun, he remembered, I attacked the Empire's hideout in the starting city on my 6th month of playing the game. It was due to the mayor's request when the top players were about to graduate from the starting city. Tens of top players who had finished changing jobs for the second time formed a punitive force with hundreds of guild alliances and took over the fortress. However, when the genuine Imperial Demon Cavalry, who had been concealed, revealed themselves, the majority of players were swiftly wiped out. Even the rankers, myself included, narrowly escaped. For 6 months following that incident, no one dared to approach the Empire's hideout. At that time, the Demon Cavalry was complete, with an average level approaching 50. Naturally, players who had only just reached level 50 found it challenging to contend with them. But now, the Demon Cavalry is incomplete, with low levels. My escorts are expert high-class knights over level 80. More importantly, I can discern the randomly placed vital points of the Demon Cavalry. All I need to do is target those vital points. After a little while, all the monsters were killed by Raul and his knights. Jake expressed frustration, saying, "Those damn monsters." Pierce asked, "Why is the Imperial Demon Cavalry in a place that's akin to the kingdom's front yard?" Philip inquired. "What should we do now, sir? I think it'll be dangerous to go inside." Raul determinedly replied, "We will go in. We can't back out now," Pierce suggested to Raul. "Then we should at least get some backup." Raul countered, "No, the captives will be in more danger the longer it takes. We have to take care of them before they get in touch with the others outside." Philip advised Raul then, "Stay behind us. We will handle the enemies. Just focus on searching with Pierce." Raul thought, "It's a shame, but it's not the time to be greedy right now. I get part of the experience points anyway even if I don't kill them myself. It's my chance to get carried. I've worked hard until now. By the way, it feels so great to have such reliable subordinates," Philip declared. "We will go first," and both Jake and Philip walked downstairs. Peering into the basement, Jake suggested, "We should kill them in frying stool water." Shortly after, Pierce remarked, "They are fearless, doing chimera research in another country's territory." Then the Demon Cavalry he fought, Raul observed, must have been made of the citizens. They kidnapped. I didn't expect them to be this crazy. In his thoughts, he reflected, I have seen these kinds of scenes several times in my past life, but it still creeps me out. Actually, I thought about joining them when I reincarnated because they will be seizing supremacy over this continent in about 10 years from now. But the Emperor is a crazy man. Becoming his subordinate would be the same as jumping into a fire with a bomb in hand. There are many baseless rumors about the Emperor, but I'm sure about one thing. The Emperor doesn't regard humans as equals. Those without royal blood are sorted into classes based on their perceived value, and during a life of labor, they become experimental subjects or food for the Imperial Demon Cavalry when deemed useless. Even high-class citizens face execution if they displease the Emperor. I recall a general who voiced concerns about the Emperor's tyranny. As he spoke with the king, a glowing red tattoo on his shoulder signaled his impending explosive demise. I vividly remember being there. I have no intention of surviving by aligning myself with someone like that, and I cannot condone experiments on innocent civilians. His contemplation was interrupted when Philip opened another door, beckoning to Raul. "Sir, could you come here and take a look?" Upon entering, Raul and his knights witnessed an Imperial knight urgently shouting, "Activate it. We have to secure the exit route." Pierce, utilizing his detection skill, identified the threat. 4 knights, 3 wizards, and 10 Imperial Demon Cavalry. The wizard seemed to be attempting to activate the magic circle in front of the cave. Philip assumed command, declaring, "I will handle the knights. Pierce, take care of the wizards. Jake, handle the Imperial Demon Cavalry that are after him. Please provide backup, sir," Jake remarked. "So you want me to clean up the mess from behind?" Meanwhile, Philip cast an angry look in Jake's direction. Pierce swiftly ascended to a nearby elevated position, employing about to target an enemy wizard and successfully eliminating it. Raul then directed his knights to attack, contemplating. Charging shot. They're 5 circle wizards. We have to eliminate them first. That barrier. Ordinary arrows don't work on it. I should put some psychokinesis over it and create a psychokinesis pathway for the trajectory. Subsequently, Raul released an arrow that shattered the teleportation gate and simultaneously took down the wizard. He continued his thoughts. Good, we stopped them from escaping through the teleport gate. The Imperial Knight Commander, noticing the broken magic circle, exclaimed. The magic circle was broken. He swiftly ordered his fellow knights, "Our exit route is blocked. Release the seal and kill them all." In response, the knights fervently declared, "Yes, for our emperor," while veins appeared on their faces and rushed to attack Raul. Meanwhile, Philip advanced, successfully blocking their attacks. Observing Philip, Raul pondered, "Philip isn't enough. The expert high-class knight who is over level 90. A window then appeared, displaying information about the Imperial Knight. Name: McDowell. Level: 71. Job: Knight Sword Expert Middle Class. Affiliation: Cranon Empire. Imperial Hound Mirror Branch Manager. Nickname: Red Hound. Stats: Potential Grade B Class. Unique Traits: Blind Loyalty Grade B, Fear Resistance Grade C. Continuing with his thoughts, Raul mused. His stats increased. Is that the red tattoos effect? Jake questioned. What is this? Are they all on drugs? Subsequently, Jake sent a message to Raul using the system chat, inquiring, "Sir, can't I just kill them with swords? I think it will be hard with just this little stick." Raul replied to Jake via message, stating, "Knight Philip and Knight Pierce are doing fine, but it seems like it's too hard for you, Knight Jake. This plan was made because I trusted your capabilities, but I guess we don't have any other choice." In response, Jake sent message, stating, "What, hard? I just said that because I thought Knight Pierce was having a hard time." He then shouted to the Imperial Knights, "Look what happened because of you. Guy, all of you." Observing this, Raul considered, "I should do something too," and promptly struck down a nearby monster. Witnessing Raul's swift victory, Jake thought, "That's weird. How does he figure out the monster's weak point so easily?" McDowell addressed the situation, saying, "I didn't expect that we would be overpowered. Who are you?" In McDowell's thoughts, he speculated, since they use Reaper, they should be from the Randall Viscounty, but somehow, their swordsmanship looks awkward. Based on my instincts, they aren't from the Randall Viscounty. Jake inquired, "Why does someone who will die soon need to know that?" "If you are done talking, let's start again, you dogs of the Empire." In response, McDowell retorted, "How dare you insult the Imperial Hounds?" As he closely examined Raul and his knights, McDowell pondered, "Is that kid the leader? I think I have found a way for us to survive." McDowell then shouted, "Give your life for the Emperor." For the honor of the Emperor, the remaining knights transformed into monsters and charged forward. Observing this, Raul thought, "That's Black Sacrifice, a skill that sacrifices oneself by burning life energy and mana to obtain incredible strength for a very short time. They must be planning something, judging by the fact that they are using that skill." In that moment, a message from Philip appeared, conveying, "Sir, be careful." Simultaneously, McDowell activates his power armor and charged forward to attack. A window displayed information about the power armor. Empire K2E type power armor. Rank, Grady. Output, 0.8 CP. Uptime, 2 hours maximum. Operation mode, Mana stone consume. Defense skill, 3 circles. Subsequently, another message from Philip appeared, alerting, "They are after you." Philip swiftly rushed forward, attempting to attack McDowell, whose power armor efficiently blocked the assault. Frustrated, Philip thought, "Damn it." The attack was cancelled out by the force field, and he shouted a warning to Raul. At that very moment, McDowell declared, "This is over," and launched an attack on Raul. However, Raul skillfully blocked McDowell's attack. A little shocked, McDowell exclaimed to Raul, "What is it this time, you bastard? You were a power armor user." In McDowell's thoughts, he speculated, power armor with shifting parts, judging by its appearance, it should be F-class, but my instinct is telling me that it will be dangerous if the shifting ends. Attempting to attack Raul again, McDowell persisted. Meanwhile, memories of a few moments ago flooded Raul's mind, recalling McDowell's initial attack. What happened? I was going to dodge the attack by using the C-rank skill flash, but a message popped up and I can't move, notifying him of encountering a hostile power armor. Regnator, which was previously dormant, had awakened. Assessing Raul's qualifications, has a unique trait and known, Grade X, attainment, sword expert, middle-class psychokinesis. Raul had fulfilled the minimum qualification, prompting the activation of Regnator. However, due to insufficient mana for complete activation, Regnator searched for other energy sources. It identified intermediate grade psychokinesis and successfully fixated its shape using psychokinesis. As a result, Regnator had partially activated. Raul reflected, so this is the power armor, a barrier that blocks all physical attacks weaker than a mana blade, defense skill that cancels out at least 3 circle magic, and a mysterious core that enhances the mana and physical abilities of the user. Even with higher level and experience, you can't win against someone with power armor. That's how great the effects of the power armor are. However, power armor is for NPCs. If you aren't a connected villager, it can't be worn. So for players, power armor became a dream equipment they could never have. For NPCs, it was the only way they could counter the player's outburst. And here I am, wearing that power armor. Raul's thoughts were abruptly interrupted. What's happening? Why aren't the attacks working? McDowell launched another attack on Raul, which was blocked, but the impact pushed Raul backward. Meanwhile, McDowell appeared, fatigued after the last attack. Taking advantage of the moment, Raul utilized his psychokinesis trait to retrieve his Reaper. Subsequently, he employed the shooting star skill to counterattack. McDowell, feeling the impact, thought, "Damn it, he even broke the barrier. Is this the end? But even if it is, I won't die alone," he shouted, "Honor to the Empire." Observing the scene, Raul contemplated, his body is fusing with the power armor. Guess it is almost over. Suddenly, a window appeared with information. Regnator has detected a forbidden piece of power. Confused, Raul thought, what does that mean? Another window provided clarity, releasing part of the seal due to an oath. Shortly after, a golden mana enveloped Raul's entire body. Then, another window emerged with information. Regnator will show his true self temporarily. Raul, clad in Regnator power armor, stood motionless. McDowell, taken aback by the sight of the power armor, collected his composure and leaped forward to attack Raul. Observing McDowell's, Raul disdainfully remarked, "Disgusting." However, when McDowell's fist collided with Raul's power armor, a massive explosion happened. The force of the explosion created a shockwave, causing the knight accompanying Raul to struggle to maintain their stance without being thrown backward. Meanwhile, aided by his power armor, Raul effortlessly thwarted McDowell's attack. Skillfully, Raul pushed McDowell backward, creating a strategic distance. In retaliation, a single, precise punch from Raul proved fatal for McDowell, culminating in a decisive victory for Raul and his knights. As Raul's power armor vanished, He reflected. I did it. I barely met the time limit, accompanied by a cough, causing both Philip and Jake to express concern and rush towards him, asking, "Young master, are you okay?" Raul reassured them, saying he was fine, and contemplated. I've never felt this before, something I've never experienced as a player. It feels like I saw a glimpse of eternal power. I borrowed the item's power this time. One day, I'll reach it with my own strength. After a while, Raul contemplated. Pocket teleportation device and mana stone. Let's figure out how to use them later. Pierce then informed, "Sir, we found Nikki and the other hostages." There was some, however. Raul interjected. "There was nothing we could do. Get their belongings so we can hand them over to their families." Pierce acknowledged. "Yes, sir. Nikki's not well right now." Raul urged. "We should hurry. Let's leave." Jake questioned Raul. "Are we really leaving those here?" Raul inquired. "Why? Do you want them?" Jake replied. "Of course. Many of them are useful. That thing's value can't be measured with gold." Raul considered. He's not wrong. The power armor that McDowell was wearing, I can't use it. But it can prove that we caught the Empire's spies and use it for experiments. The Imperial hounds weren't easy. They can easily take down small nobles. Many users gave up because of them. There's no need to agitate them right now. It's better to focus on our growth and expanding my influence. Raul informed Jake. "It's all part of the plan, so forget about it. Also, I finished him." Jake responded. "That's because you told us to stay away." Raul then promised a bonus for their hard work and told them to rest. Excited, Jake exclaimed, "Bonus and vacation. You can't take it back." Raul, observing Jake, wondered, is he stupid or smart? He then asked Pierce for a report, and Pierce assured, "We've lured them as planned, and will ensure there's no setback." Raul pondered, "Let's see what they do. It's obvious, though. I'm curious about the kind of face they'll make after falling for this trick." Ramon questioned the guide. "How far did they go? Hey, guide, are we going the right way?" Frustrated, Ramon thought, "Shit, we tracked him down to this forest, but we don't even see his traces. We had to mentally heal from the shrine and even lost money and swords because of him. We lost to him because we couldn't use mana skills in the city. There's no way we could have lost with 12 knights otherwise. Knight leader Jeremy even has power armor. This is our chance now that he's outside the city." His thoughts were interrupted by the guide, who pointed and exclaimed, "Right there." Entering the hideout shortly thereafter, Kale remarked, "Here, this looks kind of dangerous. I guess we have to go in to find out." Ramon affirmed, "Of course, we came outside the city to find him. Let's go." A few moments later, Ramon commented, "We couldn't find him. But this is pretty nice," Jerry exclaimed. "Magic items, artifacts, and even corpses of wanted people. And the biggest one is this power armor." And all of them started laughing. Meanwhile, outside the forest, a knight addressed Raul, saying, "Young master, thanks for taking the trouble. We raided a hideout in the East Forest and rescued the hostages." Raul inquired, "Nice. Where are the others?" The knight replied, "They came here after their mission." Raul thought, "They are my trainee knights and first guild members. 6 of them went past expert through training, and the rest are ready to be experts. We are getting back the supplies from the North Hideout, West Hideout. Every one of them can use mana and has learned Ashton County's sword skills. With over 100 members now, normal rogues can't stand against us." Raul then commanded the knights, "Everyone's here. Let's go." The knights responded, "Yes, sir." A little later, at the gate of the Free City Mirror, one of the guards questioned, "Are they the Ashton County's people? Why are there so many?" Raul inquired, "Are you the captain here?" The captain of the guard replied, "Yes, sir. We've guided the civilians here as you requested." Raul commended, "Good work." As people gathered, one asked, "Is he the one who rescued the hostages?" Another exclaimed, "I can finally see my kids." Nokia thought, Maybe my sister. Then she spotted her sister Nikki moving swiftly toward Raul. Raul informed Nokia, Nikki's right here. Overwhelmed, Nokia expressed her gratitude, saying thank you. Thank you so much. Raul added, she's not in good shape right now. We will have to treat her at the mansion. Instructing Bernard. Bernard replied, yes, a priest is at the mansion already. Raul reflected, I saved the lives of many who were supposed to be dead and changed the future of the alchemist who would live only for vengeance. Maybe Nokia won't be a grand alchemist like she was before, and the items and potions she invented might not even appear in this world. Nevertheless, I still need Nokia for the county's future. Everything started to change when I came back to the past. I don't care even if history changes. I won't hesitate if I have to take away someone's future. I'm no longer a kind person. Even today, I could have saved so many more people if I had acted faster. Instead, I looked away from those people and chose to binge the quests and gain Nokia's interest. Still, I completed the quest overnight and saved everyone I could have. The city will be safe for now, and the mayor will visit with rewards when the sun comes up. But I still feel uneasy. Subsequently, Raul observed a woman in the crowd, tearfully uttering, my son didn't make it back. Reflecting on the situation, Raul thought about the lower-class people who couldn't pay for commissions, those who never even got a chance. Looking back, he realized that his actions were solely driven by quests and levels. He acknowledged that he never had a conversation with people unrelated to the quests. Despite telling himself he would live in the present after reincarnating, he recognized that he was still just playing around as if it were a game. Deep in thought, Raul questioned the merits of living within the system's confines. He pondered whether blindly following the predetermined quest was the right path. Realizing his plans based on the player's perspective might limit him, he sought a unique role as a nobleman of Connect. Worried about repeating past mistakes, he yearned to find a task exclusive to him. Turning to Philip, he asked about the disheartened people nearby, seeking insight into their personal information and circumstances. Philip inquired, all of them? Raul responded, yeah, and provide consolation money to those who lost family or had them kidnapped, helping them find jobs. As Raul contemplated, he felt remorse for burdening someone who came to fight. Philip expressed surprise, stating, I thought you only stepped in when things benefit you. He assured Raul that others wouldn't refuse, except for someone who might say no, gesturing towards Jake. Jake questioned, why is he looking at me? I don't hate doing good things either. In a whisper to Raul, he added, but still, are you going to give me a day off? Right. The gathered people expressed their gratitude, saying thank you. Long live Count Ashton. Long live young Master Raul. Raul considered, Mira's citizen support will be helpful with other guilds. Although calculated, it's like killing two birds with one stone since they appreciate it. Staying here longer to level up and gain practical experience seems like a good idea. Meanwhile, an elderly person in a hoodie observed Raul from a distance. The following day, Reynaldo expressed, I've inconvenienced you a lot. You've given me a much-needed break. Raul replied, well, even without me, you would have resolved it too. Reynaldo countered, no, I couldn't even sleep, after hearing the news about Mira being targeted by the Empire swarming with evil seeds. Without your report, we would have been in big trouble. Raul remarked, he was surprised too. Who would have thought that the Empire's evil forces reached Mira, clearly within the Kingdom of Ruben's territory? Judging by their hideout, it seemed they had been working in secret, training demonic soldiers for quite a long time. Reynaldo revealed, to be honest, this wasn't the first time there were missing cases, but we couldn't subjugate them due to the treaty. According to the treaty, Mira wasn't allowed to have an army, only gods, and they couldn't showcase even half of their capabilities outside the city. Come to think of it, someone from Randall Viscounty came, as you said. They claim to have destroyed the spy's hideout and are vigorously demanding compensation. If not for your request, we would have just kicked them out, Raul commented, as expected. But, as he had said before, this matter. Reynaldo interrupted Raul and remarked, "Yeah, we should attribute this to Randall Viscounty. But don't you think it's too bad? Not only will you gain a great reputation, but you may also receive rewards from the royal palace." Raul responded, "Thank you for the concern, but please just do as I asked." Reynaldo teased, "Oh my, you're too careful. That's not fun for your age anyways. I'll take care of this matter well." Raul pondered. The Randall bastards can handle the Empire's hideout and draw their attention. It's their contribution. His thoughts were interrupted by Reynaldo, who said, "By the way, I don't know what I should give you as a reward. I don't think money will be enough. What do you want? I will give you anything." Raul continued his thoughts, thinking that Reynaldo was finally saying something he wanted to hear. Raul then expressed, "Then, I'd like to ask you for a favor. I heard that your mansion has a study with a collection of valuable books. If it's all right with you, may I take a look at those books?" Reynaldo remarked, "That study, it's nothing much, but feel free to take a look to your heart's content. If you want, you can even take one of the books with you. But still, it seems like that won't be enough. So I'll show you the secret treasury too. I'll let you choose one thing from there as a gift." Raul expressed his gratitude, saying thank you. "As expected, you're very generous." Reynaldo added, "Right, I give generously when needed, but some people call me stingy. I wonder if they've hurt their eyes?" Raul thought to himself, wondering why Reynaldo was showing off when he had to give him a reward anyway. Shortly after, in Reynaldo's study, a servant said to Raul, "I shall leave you be. Please feel free to take a look." Raul thought to himself, realizing that this was the place he had heard about. He knew that while the books may appear to be miscellaneous, they were actually a marvelous treasury of skill books. A window popped up, asking, "Would you like to acquire the B-rank skill book Thunder Pierce?" Raul continued his thoughts, realizing that all the books in this library were skill books, and he felt overwhelmed just by looking at them. He knew he had to carefully search for the book he wanted, as there was no guarantee he would have the opportunity to return. He noticed a subtle light coming from a particular book, and he knew he had to take a closer look at it. Another window appeared, displaying the information, study of ancient rituals, spells, and instructional methods for mental cultivation. Raul contemplated the lengthy title and thought to himself, "What a long title! But this book." Suddenly, a new window popped up, revealing detailed information about the book titled Quercus Meditation Art. The window stated that it was only available for psychic ability users, with a grade of S, and a unique effect of providing a 24-hour automatic meditation effect and the ability to engage in mental training. The description explained that this meditation art was used by ancient psychics to cultivate spiritual power and that it allowed individuals to purify their souls by connecting with nature and utilizing a mental imagery space. Additionally, there was a popular belief that meditating near an oak tree enhanced the effectiveness of the practice. Raul pondered the exclusivity of this meditation method, specifically designed for S-level psychics. He exclaimed, "I finally found it. Now I can finally obtain these skills. In my previous life, Bae DoHyun managed to achieve a top rank in the early stages with just a B-rank meditation art. However, my insufficient spiritual power capacity eventually led to my downfall. By the time I attempted to find a better meditation art, the path to acquiring skill books had already been monopolized by large guilds and other high-ranking individuals. Initially, skill books related to superpowers had abysmal drop rates, and information about them was scarce. However, over time, details about the Quercus meditation art began to surface. According to a renowned flame magician ranker from Japan named Sakata Shigehisa, the mayors of the starting cities concealed one S-rank skill each. Among them, Sakata had acquired a superpowered skill from Mira's library. Reflecting on his past life, Raul remembered obtaining an S-rank skill book in the starting city of Ignet. Unfortunately, it was a magician-exclusive skill, rendering it useless to him. However, this time would be different. The cumulative effects of the meditation method would ensure he never ran out of spiritual power, right? Furthermore, while psychic abilities may not appear impressive initially, their power and range of use expand significantly as one's level increases. With sufficient spiritual power support, increasing Raul's proficiency would become much easier. If he could reach the level he had in his previous life before a full-scale war with the Empire began, he would really be able to turn the tables upside down. He was looking forward to that day. Raul chose a moderate mana ring from Reynaldo's treasury, knowing that there were much better things in his hometown anyway. He decided it was time to tackle some personal reorganization that he had been putting off until now. He completed all 70 quests he had gathered in one night, including the skill books below C rank and the rare grade items. He also amassed 50,000 player-only coins. Raul issued a command for the system to open the status window, revealing the following information: name Raul, level 55 hardcore mode, job Night Sword Expert Beginner, mid-tier psychokinetic, belongs to County Ashton, first guild, unique traits, skill collector grade X, developers analyzing I grade X, psychokinetic Meister S+, royal lineage, unknown grade X. Raul contemplated, in 1 month, all my body stats have surpassed 65, with mana and spiritual power exceeding 70. I can now be considered skilled. Superhumans like swordmasters or high-tier psychokinetics have around 90 stats. In my previous life, I even reached 90, in willpower and senses. In this life, I'm aiming to elevate all my stats to 90. If the opportunity rises, I'll strive to be the first player to reach 100 stats. It might sound like a dream, but Raul genuinely has numerous opportunities in this life. For example, the information window displayed the details of the Regnator Power armor. It was graded as a B and was currently bound to Raul. The armor was partially open but sealed, with an output of 1.5 core power. Its operating time was limited to a maximum of 5 minutes, and it operated in self-charging mode. The defense technique of the armor included a mid-tier mana blade attribute force field with 6 circles, although the attribute effect was reduced by 50%. The armor was a replica of a mythical power armor, but most of its functions had been sealed or transformed due to crossing time and space. The seal would be undone once special requirements were met. The armor also had special functions, including condemnation, which amplified its effect by 200% against the target of the oath, and covert satiation, which allowed it to absorb lower power armor and imitate its function. Raul, who had reincarnated, had 2 items accompanying him: the skill decks, which had been unlocked through quests, and the awakened Regnator Power armor. He had received a quest related to their skill decks, which required him to solve 50 quests to undo the next seal. However, he had no clues about how to handle the Regnator Power armor, possibly due to its challenging current output. In addition to unlocking their power armor, Raul had also unlocked a new unique trait. An information window popped up, revealing the details of the developer's analyzing eye. It was graded as an X and allowed Raul to borrow the developer's vision to steal information related to the system. This trait facilitated the analysis of special energies and explained why the Raul had been able to see NPC information and mana flow. He speculated that he had acquired this trait when he subdued the Imperial Hound's demonic energy. To confirm this, he planned to check the quest that appeared together with the unlocking of the trait. However, he noted that this anomaly might be due to attacking the Imperial Hound hideout too early, as the quest typically appeared when leaving the starting city. If he followed the same route as in his previous life, he would constantly encounter the Empire to obtain the black magic stone fragments, navigating scenarios amid their extreme interference. However, he no longer had to do that now, being both a player and a citizen of Connect. The choice of scenario and the quests he cleared were entirely up to him. He was no longer a puppet moving along the developer's wishes. If the ending they decided and what he wanted were different, he would move as he pleased, even if it meant destroying the scenario and the quest itself. The following day, Bernard called out, "Young master, are you inside? Nikki has regained consciousness. Miss Nokia would like to meet you. What would you like to do?" Raul responded, "Of course, he should meet her. Let's go." Upon meeting Nokia, Raul inquired Nokia, "How is your little sister doing?" Nokia expressed, "Young master, you're here. Thank you very much. I don't know how to repay your kindness." Raul remarked, "Don't mind it. Before that, since Nikki is not all better yet, I need you to be stronger." As Raul contemplated, he wondered, "Then shall I check Nikki's state too?" Nikki expressed gratitude, saying, "Thank you for saving me." Nokia apologized, stating, "I apologize, but Nikki is very shy." Raul reassured, "It's fine, she's still young." In his thoughts, he added, "She's still unwell. How pitiful. Shall I check more closely?" Upon closer inspection, Raul noticed Nikki's strong mana and pondered, "What is it? What's going on? Did the others not notice it? I thought my eyes were playing tricks on me, but I'll have to look at it again through the developer's analysis." As he observed Nikki's status window, Raul became shocked. Raul was taken aback, thinking to himself, "No way, I thought she was just a kid." As he looked at the window displaying information, he read the details. The name was Nikki, a 13-year-old with a level of 5. Surprisingly, she had no class affiliation. She was associated with the Free City Mirror. Her talent was unknown, but it had a potential grade of SS. Raul examined her stats, noting her strength at 5, agility at 3, and stamina at 3. Her intelligence was at 60, with a deduction of 30. Similarly, her willpower was at 65 with a deduction of 25, mana at 62 with a deduction of 61, and senses at 52 with a deduction of 45. Additionally, she possessed 3 unknown unique traits. Raul pondered, double S potential talent, her illness is bringing her stats down. But what if I can cure her illness and bring out her true stats? I can't even imagine how powerful she'll be. Just as he was lost in his thoughts, Nokia asked him, "Sir, what's wrong?" Raul quickly replied, "It's nothing," but internally, he resolved to delve deeper into the matter for Nikki's sake. A few days later, Raul muttered to himself, "Okay, he has all the papers he needs. He's almost done with Mira. Everything is going well." They found more rogues and slave traders and rescued 50 more people. Now Mira is the safest place. The construction of the guild house was completed, and some guild members were now living there. Many of the civilians they had rescued were willing to work for them, and Raul was confident in every aspect of their progress. The only thing left was, Bernard said to Raul, "I'm opening the door." Nokia entered the room. Raul then asked, "How is Nikki doing?" Nokia replied, "She's doing much better, thanks to the hard-working priests." "Thank you again," Raul responded. "That's nice, however." In his thoughts, he believed that Nikki's condition had not actually improved and couldn't be healed with divine power in the first place. Raul said, "I asked to see you because I wanted to talk to you." Nokia replied, "I see. I heard you are leaving today. Is that true? I haven't been able to properly thank you yet." Raul explained, "Yes, I've stayed longer than I was supposed to, so I'm on a tight schedule now." Nokia offered her assistance, saying, "Ask me anything. How may I help you?" Yet, in her thoughts, she wondered if there was a reason why he had helped her and Nikki so much. She had encountered many greedy nobles in the past and was scared that Raul might be the same. She didn't want to disappoint him. Before Nokia could dwell further on her thoughts, Raul interrupted and said, "It's not what you're thinking. Why don't you read this first?" He handed her some papers, and as she read through them, Nokia became shocked. One of the papers showed information about a pardon letter, forgiving all sins committed by Nokia in the past and releasing all charges against her. In surprise, Nokia asked, "Pardon? Is this real? How did you?" Raul said luckily, it was something that could easily be settled with money. And Raul thought, the paper he had just given Nokia pardoned her of her sins. He had to use quite a lot of money to get permission from the Alliance, but that was nothing compared to her worth. Meanwhile, Nokia thought, she had suffered through 5 years of pain because of the mana restriction. It was a problem she thought she could never escape. Raul had solved it so easily. She realized she was stupid to have compared him with other nobles and felt arrogant for doing so. Raul asked Nokia if she was okay with it. Could she tell him how she got her mana restricted? Nokia said, when she was a kid, she left her hometown. Her alchemist teacher saw her talent as an alchemist and helped her get into the Alchemist Association. She made a name for herself as a young talented alchemist and even mastered 3-circle magic at the age of 13. But then misfortune struck when there was a disease outbreak in her hometown and she lost her family. Only Nikki was left when she arrived. She tried to bring her to the association and live with her, but the misfortune didn't stop. When Nikki turned 6, she got an incurable disease, probably because of Nokia's exposure to hazardous substances. Nokia focused on finding a cure for 2 years and made it to the 5th circle at the age of 18 during the process, but it meant nothing to her. When Nikki's death was approaching, she couldn't think of any solutions. She broke the taboo by using alchemy on a person and kept Nikki alive using materials she stole from the association. However, Nikki couldn't even stay awake without medicine. Then she was caught breaking the taboo and got kicked out of the association with constraints. They settled in their current location after wandering around for a while. The city was safe and the blessings of God helped with Nikki's illness. However, mana restrictions and a sick sister didn't look good to the people here, so his talk was interrupted by Raul, who said, "You've been through a lot. Now drink this. It will free you." Nokia took the potion from Raul and drank it. Nokia thought, it's been 5 years, but it still feels relaxing. I missed it. Meanwhile, the status window of Nokia popped up, revealing information. Nokia was 23 years old, at level 68, and an intermediate alchemist 5th circle. She was affiliated with the Free City Mirror. Nokia's stats included a potential talent grade S, unique traits such as Master of Alchemy grade S, Precise Tuner grade A, Genius Absurdity grade A-, and one unknown trait. Nokia thought, I get it now, what he really wants from me. Nokia then said, I, Nokia, will be loyal to Sir Raul. I am eager to see you save many others, just like how you saved me and Nikki. Raul replied, I accept your loyalty, and I won't forget what you said. I'll give you this as well. Nokia asked, this is, Raul answered, it's for Nikki's illness, a monofalaria. A great alchemist that's no longer in this world left this. There's a part missing in it, so it needs more research. Nokia, make the perfect cure using that. That's the first order I give you as your lord. Nokia said, I'll make the perfect cure with my life. And Nokia thought, I decided. For the rest of my life, I'll live for him. Raul observes Nokia exiting the room, though he is still talking and acting awkwardly. However, he knows he has to practice as this is his home and the people he interacts with are citizens of Connect. Today was a great success for Raul. Nokia was the first member who wasn't assigned to her, and she is an alchemist who will leave a mark in history. She will create the cure. Nokia herself is a great alchemist who is no longer in this world. In the past, she also fought the incurable disease called monofalaria. After extensive research, she finally developed a cure, although many people were sacrificed in the process. It doesn't matter now. Raul considers himself lucky that data about Nokia cure is still available in Cafe Link. He purposely gave Nokia the defective version so that she could grow. Hopefully, Nokia will no longer feel burdened by Nikki when she creates the cure. Even if she can't make it in time, Raul can provide her with the remaining data. Everything Raul had planned to do in Mira is now complete, and he must prepare for his next destination. The next destination is the capital of the Ruben Kingdom, also known as the Tomb of Sword, Metropolis Turium. Raul is getting excited about what will happen in the vast city. Let's get going. A few days later, Raul muttered to himself that they had arrived at the capital of the Ruben Kingdom, Turum. Jake expressed his amazement at the large number of people in the capital, noting that it was quite different from what they were used to. Raul confidently stated that there was no need for them to wait in line, as they were from a county and could enter without any issues. The knights acknowledged his command. Raul then pondered the fact that he had left most of the guild members in Mira and only brought a small group with him, hoping that it would make their mission easier. After entering the capital, he wondered why there were no carriages or escorts waiting for them. Raul turned to Bernard and asked if he had sent the message about their arrival. Bernard assured him that he had, but there seemed to be a mistake. He suggested heading to the mansion first and gathering more people. Raul asked Bernard if he knew the location of the mansion and suggested they move together. Bernard asked a nearby woman if she knew where the Ashton County mansion was, but she had no idea. He asked other people, and one person mentioned that Ashton County was associated with a warrior family. Another person suggested looking for the mansion in the Noble District. However, the patrol in the Noble District informed Raul that there was no Ashton County mansion there and denied them entry. Raul was surprised by the lack of knowledge about his family, but he understood that they were not well known. Jake expressed his frustration. Soldiers are dying stopping monsters at the Ashton County and you are asking where Ashton is. You don't even know who's maintaining this peace, you son of... Raul realized that it made sense for civilians to be unaware of their family, as they rarely visited the capital. However, he found it strange that no one even knew about the mansion's existence, considering its purpose for exchanges with nobles and royals. Raul decided that it was inconvenient, but asked Bernard to go to the office and find the address. Bernard confidently agreed to take care of it. After a little while later, the guard asked, "Are you sure this is the paper? I'm sure this address is for Baron Gendar." Raul asked, "Baron Gendar, not Count Ashton?" The guard replied, "Yes, Baron Gendar has been living there for over 10 years now. We can head there for now." Raul turned to Bernard and asked who he is. Bernard explained, "Baron Gendar is a 50-year-old male. He is your distant cousin and he's in charge of foreign affairs." Raul said, "I see. Let's go to the mansion. I'll have to see it myself." A few moments later, at the mansion gate, the guard asked, "Who are you again?" Philip said, "I am escorting Ashton County's youngest son, Sir Raul." "Where's the foreign affairs officer?" The guard asked, "Ashton County. Do you have an invitation?" Philip asked, "Invitation? What invitation?" The guard said, "You came to a party without an invitation. Please wait over there. I'll be back." Raul was surprised and said, "Party?" Jake advanced with anger towards the guards and said, "What the fuck is happening here? You are asking the owner to wait outside?" "I don't care who Baron Gendar is. Tell him to come out." Meanwhile, all the guards dropped their weapons and ran away, saying intruders. Jake was surprised by that and asked, What the fuck just happened? Are they running away?" Raul said, "Let's go inside." A person with more guards blocking the path of Raul and his knights approached them and said, "Stop there. You are not allowed to enter this place." He asked, "Who are you?" Philip said, "I am Philip of the Golden Bear Knights of the Ashton County." "Where's Baron Gendar?" The person asked, "Why are you intruders looking for the Baron?" And then the realization hit him. "Wait, Ashton County." He said, "I'm sorry, I heard you were coming, but it was late. I'll let the Baron know right away." "What are you guys doing?" "Bring them to the reception room," his fellow knights said. "Yes." Raul thought, "What the hell is happening? This place is as big as he had heard. It would take forever to go around even with a carriage. Is that That's the building only the direct lineage of the Ashton County can use. Why do I hear music from the building, and there are strangers rolling in the front yard? Jake asked, is there an event today? Someone said there's a party. The god replied, you didn't know. Today is Baron Gender's third son, Aaron's birthday party. Parties happen too often here, so we get confused as well. Jake asked angrily, what? Whose party, Baron? Gendar said, finally, you are here, let's see. Are you Raul? You grew a lot. Raul thought, he seems strong, but then window pop-up showing information, level 50 Baron Gendar. Raul continued with his thoughts, level 50, not even an expert. I get why other families look down on Ashton. I get why father put this guy in charge of foreign affairs, but I can't accept it. He's even looking down at me. Raul asked, do you know me? Baron Gendar said, you must have forgotten since it's been a long time. I'm basically your uncle. I'm like a brother to your father. Raul said, my uncle? I've never heard your name mentioned as my uncle. Baron Gendar laughed and said, clever. It must be hard for you to understand since the Ashton family tree is a bit complicated. You can just call me uncle. Raul thought, he thinks I'm stupid. I won't let him take advantage of me. Raul said to Bernard, can you re-explain what this guy has to do with me? Bernard replied, yes, sir. Baron Gendar is Count Ashton's second cousin. He is your third cousin and is in charge of foreign affairs at the capital. Baron Gendar said, what are you doing in front of an adult? Did your father not teach you to respect your elders? Raul said, Baron Gendar, you must be very comfortable with my father. Or are you not scared of Ashton County, Philip, except for direct descendants of my family? How many people can talk comfortably with me? Philip replied, only the Count's younger brother, Viscalinta Liston, sir. Raul asked, and why is that? Philip explained, to show respect to Count Ashton and clearly establish hierarchy. When a count's child comes of age, they inherit the title of Viscount and some land. I also inherited some land with a population of 10,000. Raul said, now, please tell me, is there a reason why I should be looked down on by a cousin I've never known? Baron Gendar admitted, my fault. I forgot Sir Raul is now an adult. Of course, I will now show respect. Are you satisfied, Sir Raul? Raul replied, whatever. I think you have a lot to explain. Why don't you explain to us what's going on here? Baron Gendar claimed, I am not sure what you're talking about. Philip interjected, you don't. Why was there no one to escort us? We sent many messages about us coming. Baron Gendar apologized. I told them to send a carriage, but there must have been a mistake. There were many guests today. I'm sorry, Sir Raul. Philip questioned. Let me ask you one more question. Why are you holding a birthday party for your son at the main building? Baron Gendar responded. Philip, maybe you don't know since this is your first time in the capital. We need to have a huge party to show them who we are. This is all part of the foreign affairs, so don't worry about it. What does the god know about nobility? Philip thought to himself, I'll let it be for now. Young master is here as well. Pierce said, Sir Raul, this is the invitation I found at the yard. Raul said to Gendar, this party seems to have no correlation with County Ashton. All I can see in this invitation are the names and the symbol of the Gendar family. Baron Gendar said, that's just an invitation. This is definitely a formal Ashton Counties. Raul said, even the location says Baron Gendar's mansion. Yet the party is held at the Ashton County's main building. Baron Gendar said, like I said, that's just an invitation, and I would like to stop arguing about the party. This is past your authority even if you're the young master. You can go argue about it at home. Raul asked, really? Do you really think this party is right? Baron Gendar said, of course. It's a long tradition to use the party hall when the mansion is empty. You know it as well, don't you? Raul thought. He's not wrong. It is common to lend a mansion to other nobles, but that's only if he has permission from Count Ashton himself, and Raul said, as a temporary Count Deputy, I order you to end this party within an hour and report the details of the funds spent for this party. Baron Gendar shouted, What nonsense! You are being ridiculous. I can't just send them back. Who gave this kid this authority? Raul thought. Father knew something like this would happen. Raul asked, Are you not following the order? Why don't you worry about your family? I don't think there are any guests that I should worry about. I'm giving you an hour with generosity. Should I go to the party hall myself and tell them? Baron Gendar said, Okay, I'll wrap up the party. You will regret this. Raul thought, the worst that can happen is father yelling at me a little. I'm curious what gave him the confidence to do all this. There isn't any concrete evidence about the collapse of the Ashton County. Maybe I can find something about it here. Who knows, maybe I'll hit the jackpot. Looking at the building in front, Raul exclaimed, My, oh my. He thought to himself, the place that they escorted me to isn't the main building, but the mansion's annex. The servant who was escorting them explained, the Baron said that since the main building is crowded, he wanted us to prepare a quiet place for you. Raul thought to himself, dismissing it as nonsense. He firmly stated, I don't wish to hear it. I'm going to the main building. The servant replied, Yes, sir. As Raul opened the door of the main building, he was taken aback and asked, Are they in their right minds? He thought to himself, and the 3-story main building and office where only the Count and his family can stay. The Baron's entire family lives. Raul questioned, How do you plan to explain this, Baron Gendar? Is it a Count family tradition for ministers and the like to dare occupy the Count's office? Baron Gendar responded, We were just borrowing this for a while. You don't even come here once a year anyway. Isn't it a waste to keep it empty? Raul shouted, Get lost at once. If you don't empty the mansion by today, I shall slice all your heads even if we're close family. From this point on, I shall strip the Baron of his position as the Foreign Affairs Minister. If you'd like to raise an objection, come to me by tomorrow with documentation showing that you have properly performed your duties as a minister. Meanwhile, anger could be seen on Baron Gendar's face, but he did not say anything and left the room. Seeing Baron Gendar and his family leaving through his window, Raul thought to himself, Since we're wrapping up with the preparations, I'll have to find the materials I need now. I was worried that the materials would have been discarded due to the condition of the mansion, but I am glad that it's still here. All documents related to the management and finances of the mansion were left in the office. They must be very complacent to think that nothing much will happen overnight. But, in his previous life, as Bae DoHyun, he studied business administration and worked at a trading company. Bernard is considered the foremost expert on mansion-related matters. Philip informed Raul that the Baron had left the mansion with his family. Raul asked if they left quietly, to which Philip confirmed that they had left quietly, taking only the necessary clothes. Raul expressed his belief that it was obvious what the Baron was thinking and that they would eventually return, so there was no need to take all their belongings out. Philip questioned if it would be all right and suggested giving them time to organize, but Raul insisted on quickly removing any unwanted elements. He believed it would be more efficient to confront the Baron when he least expected it. Raul also had plans to use the mansion as a branch of the First Guild until finding a suitable location in the capital. He wanted to maintain control over his house and prevent any unwanted individuals from causing trouble. Pierce mentioned that it seemed like the Baron had other support and wondered if something strange would happen. Raul reassured him, stating that it didn't matter what tricks the Baron had up his sleeve and encouraged Pierce to have more faith in their county. Jake questioned why Pierce was so worried and suggested exploring the mansion instead of engaging in painful discussions. He emphasized that they would follow Raul's instructions regardless. Raul agreed and instructed everyone to rest, except for Bernard who was to stay. Jake said to Philip, Now, let's go. Raul asked. You know what you have to look for, right? Bernard replied. Yes, young master. This is my expertise. Raul said. We don't have much time, so let's start right away. On the following day, Raul instructed Bernard in harnessing his wind mage abilities to control swords for offensive maneuvers. After some training, Raul said, You got a lot better, didn't you? I never thought you'd already be able to handle two daggers like this. Bernard replied, I still have a long way to go. Raul thought to himself, it's been a month and a half since he awakened his superpowers with the skill book. To think that he's already this skilled. He's no ordinary talent. It's not easy for a wind mage to handle a weapon so precisely. At this rate, he will reach intermediate level in about 6 months and become a multi-talented psychic that is hard to find anywhere. Then Raul asked Bernard, Shall we do some martial arts training next? I told you back then too, it's difficult to demonstrate power with just one superpower. It's easy and efficient to increase proficiency by combining various skills in the beginning. Are you ready? Bernard replied, Yes, I'm ready. And sensing someone's presence, Bernard said, It seems like we have a guest. Raul thought, as expected of a wind magician, I can't catch up with long-distance sensing ability. And Raul said, Let's go. As a host, I have to greet guests properly. Bernard said, Understood. Shall I bring the things we prepared yesterday? Raul replied, Yeah, bring them all, because I deserve to be rewarded for my hard work last night. Bernard thought to himself, Something always happens every time young master makes that face. I hope you don't do anything foolish, Baron. Jake, looking at the people gathered outside the door, said, did they bury a treasure trove or something? I don't get why there are so many people gathered here. Jake thought to himself, among the escort knights, there are some exuding a formidable vigor. There are even soldiers outside the mansion too. No matter how I look at it, it doesn't look like it's something our party can handle alone. Does the young master have something else in mind? Baron Gendar thought to himself, things are going well. The little young master bit the bait just like that. All the work must be completed now when he's away. That way I can get a position to blood relatives of the Ashton County residing in the capital. They must have gathered because of what happened last night. Getting fired from the Foreign Affairs Minister position and getting kicked out of the mansion aren't just my problems. Because blood relatives in the capital also used to hold banquets in the mansion hall at the county's expense. Even the management fees for the mansion have been flowing to them through my pocket, so there is no way those who had their back pockets taken away overnight would remain silent. Well, it was a mistake on my part to hold the party in my name and use the office, but they don't know about it anyway. He must only know how to act like a noble. He's just an idiot who doesn't know what he's getting into. Hyungnim, I don't know why you entrusted the seal to your young son, but I'll use it well. Meanwhile, Raul entered the hall. People in the crowd turned their attention to him and began whispering to each other. One person asked, Is that pretty face really a blood relative of ours? Another responded, But still, blood doesn't deceive. I heard he's 15, but he's already 180 centimeters tall. A third person questioned, Is it that young bastard who's bothering Baron Gendar? A fourth person inquired, Is it really true that he won the swordsmanship competition? Raul found himself unexpectedly standing in front of a large group of people. He spoke up, Is everyone here because of the matters with Baron Gendar? Baron Gendar replied, That's right. Your blood relatives are angry at your unreasonable behavior and have gathered together here. How about you apologize to the adults and fix this mess now? Raul asked, Then, I can assume that Baron Gendar represents everyone here, right? As I promised, I will try to sort out my rights and wrongs. Baron Gendar scoffed, How funny of you, your rights and wrongs. In the first place, this mansion has been managed alternately by blood relatives living in the capital for decades now. It's not a playground that can be messed around in by a young brat from the main family who doesn't even know anything. People in the crowd directed their comments towards Raul. One person exclaimed, "That's right. Is the main family looking down on us?" Another added, "The Count is too much too. To think that he'd give the authority to represent him to a child. On top of that, he even gave less subsidies. What is he doing when opening additional mansions and improving management methods aren't enough?" Raul thought to himself, "At this point, I won't have time to tell them what Baron Gendar did and why he was fired. Well, that's not important right now though. Things may get more complicated than expected. A total of 5 forces have gathered here. First, Ashton County's blood relatives. They participated without much thought. Second, the spies of the Imperial Hounds, the Intelligence Bureau of the Kranan Empire, were not surprised by the revelation. It was obvious to them that the Empire was responsible for the conflicts across the continent. However, the third category of individuals involved in the situation was unexpected. They were the Knights of the Delamian family, one of the 5 great families of the Brennan Republic. A window popped up, displaying information about a man named Graham. He was 45 years old and held the title of Knight, with advanced sword expertise. He belonged to the Reuben Kingdom, Baron Hon, Brennan Republic, and the Delamian family. His nickname was the Red Executor, and his stats showed a high potential ability grader. He possessed unique traits such as a tireless body grader and being a melee specialist grade B. Raul continued to ponder the situation, noting that there were several mid-tier expert knights besides Graham. However, he couldn't understand why families stronger than Ashton's were converging in this area. It was a frustrating situation for him. Additionally, there were the Knights of the Randall Viscounty, who were also causing trouble. Another window appeared, revealing information about a man named Raphael. He was 26 years old and held the title of Knight, but he was a beginner in sword expertise. He belonged to Randall County and was known as the 4th Young Master of Randall County. His stats showed a decent potential ability grade B, and he possessed unique traits such as Royal Lineage grade B and Agility grade C. Raul thought to himself, questioning why the 4th Young Master of Randall County, whose family's emblem was a weapon, would be present. Perhaps it had something to do with what happened at Mira, but he knew that Raphael wouldn't be able to act openly. Lastly, there was the 5th individual, the traitor of the family who was responsible for all the chaos and would take the lead when things went wrong. A status window appeared, revealing information about a man named Titus. He was 27 years old and held the title of Knight, with intermediate sword expertise. He belonged to the Reuben Kingdom, Jaden Viscounty, Brennan Republic, and the Jaden family. His stats showed a high potential ability grader, and he possessed unique traits such as Royal Lineage grader, Straight-Head Instinct grader, and Twisted Fighting Spirit grade B. Raul thought to himself, the eldest son of Viscount Jaden, my uncle, my elder cousin, Titus. Raul thought to himself that his father, Count Melvin D. Ashton, had 2 brothers. His older brother was Jaden and his younger brother was Austin. Out of the 3, Melvin was the most talented, but due to primogeniture, Jaden was expected to be the next count. Jaden was known for his arrogance and violent nature, often hurting or killing anyone who bothered him. However, one day Melvin achieved intermediate expert status and gained more support than Jaden to become the next count. Feeling threatened and jealous, Jaden attempted to assassinate Melvin, but was caught and lost his privileges. As time passed, Melvin became the count while Jaden received the title of Viscount and a large amount of land. However, Jaden couldn't accept the fact that he lost his title as count to his younger brother. He ended up selling his assets to a rival family, Marquis McNeil, and left the kingdom with his followers. All of this happened 15 years ago, when Raul Ashton was born. Raul noticed the presence of Viscount Jaden's son. One can discern where Baron Gendar loyalties lie. The The people in the room didn't have any negative feelings towards Viscount Jaden because they didn't lose anything in the incident 15 years ago. They probably saw this as an opportunity to push Raul and his family aside and take their place. In his past life, Ashton County fragmented into various factions and collapsed. He notion that they made the correct decision holds only if he wasn't present. He intends to educate them about the significant error they committed. However, he knew what was going on and was determined to prove them wrong. He decided it was time to make his move. Raul then signaled Philip, who made a loud noise with a metal shield to silence the gathered crowd. Raul stated that he had heard enough from them and wanted to say something. He instructed Bernard and Pierce to hand out books to the people in the hall, which confused them. Then Raul said, "Read the title." One of them read the title as a report on the management and financial operations of Count Ashton's estate with attached evidence and investigation materials regarding Baron Gender's embezzlement and misappropriation. Opening the book and reading through the report, all people became nervous, but Baron Gender, in anger, threw the report and said, "What is this? This is not real, it's fake." Other people said to each other, "Yeah, they seem legitimate, but it is hard to believe." Baron Gender said, "You came here yesterday yet you claim to have done all this while you were here. What nonsense." Raul said, "Now, let's have some real talk, shall we? This says that 200 trainees are getting free lessons here. Where are they now?" Baron Gender said, "They gave up and ran away with the equipment." Raul asked, "All 200? Are you saying they were all from somewhere else? It's weird how you chose every trainee from outside the capital when the point of the free lesson was to gain popularity in the capital." Baron Gender said, "They all ran away. And who I pick is up to me." Raul said, "Sure, there are addresses in the book, so we will find more about it once we start investigating. Let's go to the next one. It says that you gave 100 gold swords as presents to other barons, but according to the investigated report, they have all received 10 gold replicas. This also says you hired 100 C-rank mercenaries as mansion guards. Where are they? There's no way 20 rank F are all you have, right? There were frequent parties at the main building as well. Celebration for the Baron's son, the Baron's wife's birthday party, the Baron's hunting ceremony, etc. I don't get what all these have to do with using estate expenses." Raul thought to himself how amazed he was by listing out all the findings again. He had to stay up late to gather all the information. Last night, he discovered that some of the papers were fake, so he had to sneak into the Baron's house. With his analytical and Pierce observant skills, they were able to find the real book of accounts. Bernard organized the findings and compiled them into a book. Raul then used his document copying skills to make multiple copies. It was now evident to everyone how much the Baron had embezzled. Raul addressed the group, pointing out that more than half of the estate expenses had been embezzled, and asked if anyone disagreed with firing Baron Gendar. Baron Gendar responded, expressing his amazement and questioning how long Raul had been preparing for this. He accused Raul of being a bad person and plotting against him. Raul wondered what the Baron was trying to do. Baron Gendar then asked if anyone had sensed something fishy about the situation, as he had never seen such a thoroughly organized temporary report before. He believed Raul had prepared it beforehand to try and remove him from power and restrict the family's influence in the capital. Others families members that were gathering chimed in, suggesting that this was a political intrigue orchestrated by Ashton to protect his budget and that firing Baron Gendar would result in a decline in support for other families. Baron Gendar declared that they would not let it happen. Baron Gendar then presented the papers through Jackson, stating that if Raul signed it and left, they would excuse him for the disrespect shown that day. Raul urged Jake to check the paper, and Jake responded affirmatively. Jake perused the document, noting the outlined steps. First, the estate's ownership must shift to a joint title held by Baron Gendar and other family members. Second, family members in the capital will dictate the estate's management, including stewardship, and third, the exclusive sharing of the sword skill, originally confined to the main family, will now be unrestricted among the branch family members. Jake was reading the paper and became angry. He shouted, "They have all lost their minds. They were all having parties with the money we made from killing monsters. And what? Ownership, sword skill. Go screw yourself." Baron Gendar responded, "How rude. You have no right to speak to me. Is this really what the main family wants?" Jake replied, "So what? Like I said, go screw yourself. We are not giving you this house. This is by far the most brilliant bullshit I've ever heard. You damn dogs." Baron Gendar exclaimed, "How dare you?" and pulled out a dagger. Philip and Piers also pulled out their weapons. Suddenly, everyone in the room drew their weapons towards Raul and his knights. Raul intervened and said to Jake, "Stop." Jake obediently replied, "Yes, sir." Baron Gendar thought to himself, "He doesn't care that I pulled out a knife. I only did it to threaten him. But those three right there are the best knights in Golden Bear. I stand no chance." Baron Gendar then addressed Raul. "He insulted us. If you don't execute him and apologize, I will consider you the same. Apologize if you want to avoid bloodshed." Raul smiled and responded, "I mean, Sir Jake didn't say anything wrong. Why don't you stop acting? I don't expect this to be solved with these papers. I thought you'd be embarrassed at least." Raul also pulled out his sword and added, "I guess you are a greater person than I thought you were. You knew, right, that I would never sign that paper over your bullshit. So say it. Say what you really want." Meanwhile, Baron Gendar was taken aback by Raul's actions and thought to himself, "I heard the youngest is the weakest and talentless. How is that?" However, Baron Gendar was determined not to back out now. He confidently stated, "There's no use trying to bluff. You can't leave this place unless you sign the paper." He repeated, "You can't leave this place unless you sign the paper." Meanwhile, Raul advised Baron Gendar to think carefully. Raul said to Baron Gendars, "Your actions were likened to declaring war against the county, as other people gathered and expressed their disapproval." They reminded Baron Gendar that his actions were not what they had agreed upon and called him crazy. One person declared their intention to leave. Baron Gendar turned to them and arrogantly stated that it was too late, as they were all in the same boat and the Count would not forgive them. Raul questioned if they were done talking and refused to sign the paper. In response, Baron Gendar warned Raul that hundreds of knights and guards would attack him upon his command, questioning if Raul believed Golden Bear could withstand them all. Baron Gendar, in his thoughts, revealed that he had prepared a secret weapon that even Golden Bear would not be able to defeat. Raul also, in his thoughts, realized that some of the people present were merely watching and concluded that there was nothing stopping him. He confidently challenged Baron Gendar's threats. Baron Gendar was shocked by Raul's response and wondered why he was so confident, as he had expected to be able to intimidate him with armed soldiers. Baron Gendar acknowledged that using the secret weapon would lead to war and expressed his desire for Raul to be as weak as the rumors suggested. He demanded proof of Raul's lineage, insulting him with fake documents and disrespecting him in front of the gathered crowd. The people were surprised by this request, as it was a dual request that could only be used once in a lifetime and was typically used against superiors. They questioned the forced nature of the situation, considering that Raul was Baron Gendar's nephew. Raul questioned Baron Gendar's seriousness and refused to accept his request. In response, Baron Gendar claimed that it was his last act of mercy, and that it would be better than having Raul's seal forcibly taken away. Raul said, "And you get the honor of taking away your nephew's seal through an honorable duel." Baron Gendar replied, "Decide. If you decline, I'll have to use force." And Baron Gendar thought to himself, "I know your answer even though you acted all strong." Raul asked, "What are the conditions? I'm assuming you are not the one dueling." Baron Gendar responded, 3 from each side. 1 versus 1 duels from each side and the last one standing wins. And since it's proof of lineage, you'll have to pick 3 from the lineage. Philip objected. No way. There's only Sir Raul on Ashton's side. That is not fair, Baron Gender stated. There are many others of the lineages here. If they think Raul is right, they can stand on his side. It's not my responsibility if no one stands by you. Meanwhile, Raul stopped Philip and asked, and the bet of the duel? I'll sign the paper if I lose. What are you betting? Baron Gender replied. I don't think it matters. Do you want anything from me? Raul said. It's a fair duel, so the bets should be fair too. If I win, I'll take every family's house that has signed the paper. The members of the families that signed the paper exclaimed. What? That's ridiculous. Raul said, if you don't agree, there's no duel. What do you say? Baron Gender thought to himself. What is he thinking? This will only make the other families stand against him. It's not bad for me. If I can't get him to sign the paper, those houses are meaningless. And Baron Gender said, sure, I agree. He then asked, are you accepting the duel? Meanwhile, Philip said to Raul, there are different ways to do this. Raul thought to himself, Philip is right, but I've already decided to accept the duel, and I even got a quest for it. I'm not backing down. The quest window displayed the information for the task at hand, labeled as proof of lineage. It stated that the grade for this quest was C and the objective was to win the duel. There was an extra objective to win the duel alone. The description mentioned that the families and the capital were being unreasonable and the task was to shut them down with skill. The reward for completing the quest was experience points and player-only coins, with one unknown reward. Raul turned to Philip and asked, do you think I'm going to lose? Philip responded, it's not that. I'm just worried that there might be unexpected variables. Raul then sent Philip a message using the guild chat, reassuring him, don't worry. If you think there's going to be a problem, you can break in and interrupt. Raul suspected that the opposing side might be thinking the same. In his thoughts, Raul believed that this duel was merely for show and that the opposing side wouldn't accept the consequences even if they lost. He then addressed Baron Gender, saying, I'll accept the duel. Who's going to be the judge? I don't want you to be unreasonable after you lose. Baron Gender assured him, don't worry, I have a special guest here. He turned towards Raphael and asked, may I ask you to be the judge? Raphael reluctantly responded, I guess I have to now. People were surprised by that. They began to ask questions. One person asked, who is that? Another questioned, is he not a god? Baron Gender proudly declared, this man is known for his sword and character in the capital, the rising star of Reuben Kingdom, Raphael D. Randall, Randall Viscounty's fourth son. This revelation shocked everyone, causing them to draw their weapons. Raphael quickly intervened, calming everyone down, and explained that he was only there because he was invited and didn't expect such a tragic event to occur. Raul expressed his trust in Raphael's fairness as a judge, stating, Raphael from Randall County, I believe you will be a fair judge. Raphael replied confidently, of course. Shortly after, Raphael called for the representatives to stand in their designated positions. Raul, in his thoughts, realized that no one was standing by his side, which worked in his favor as he didn't have to decide which one was the better option among the garbage. Raphael then announced, let us begin the first match. Gendar family's third son, Aaron, and the first representative of the Gendar family. Aaron thought to himself, this kid screwed over my party. The weakest of Ashton, all confident over winning a countryside tournament. I'll make you beg, Raphael said. Duel start now. Aaron rushed forward to attack while saying, you are done for, kid. In the next moment, Raphael announced, the first duel winner is Raul. People watching the duel said, one strike, and what happened? I didn't even see it. Baron Gender thought to himself, stupid. He let his guard down. No way, how stupid. You lost your chance to regain our family's honor. Raphael asked Raul, shall we start the next match? Meanwhile, Raul's next opponent approached and said, I'll duel with you next. Raphael thought to himself, Baron Kesby. He's one of the decent swordsmen in the capital. I'm excited for this one. Baron Kesby said, let's start right away. Then Baron Kesby attacked Raul, which was easily blocked by Raul. Baron Kesby said to Raul, your basics are nice, very steady. Your reflexes are on point too. I can see why Aaron lost in one strike. And Baron Kesby thought to himself, it's not something I should use against a kid 20 years younger than me, but I also have a lot on the line. Baron Kesby used the bear strike to attack Raul, which was blocked by him. Baron Kesby became surprised and thought to himself, he blocked the bear strike. Meanwhile, Raul pondered to himself what Baron Kesby had been thinking, using his clumsy iteration of my family's sword arts on me. Didn't the Baron Kesby realize that I, who had learned it systematically, had the advantage when it came to the same sword art? Who would have thought that blocking a mana sword would be this easy? Baron Kesby muttered, expressing surprise that his technique didn't work on Raul. He wondered if it was because of Raul family's technique, despite how rotten Raul was. Then, Baron Kesby asked Raul how he felt about his next attack and launched an attack with another sword skill, causing Raul to stumble backwards slightly. Raul thought to himself that it seemed like Baron Kesby had integrated another sword art he had learned in the capital, and at least it was a bit better. People in the vicinity started commenting, with one person stating that Raul wouldn't last long because he was just a kid with no actual combat experience. Another person believed that Raul must have thought his family's sword arts would work in the capital too. Raul reflected on how amusing it was that these individuals were losers who had given up their jobs due to inferiority complexes and jealousy, leaving their hometowns to stay in the capital. He acknowledged that there were blood relatives who had talents other than swordsmanship and had gone to the capital with bigger dreams. However, those worthy individuals were not present. And like these losers, they had drawn a line between their family and themselves and started their own families. Then, Raul swung his sword at Baron Kesby, who barely managed to parry it. Raul expressed his disappointment, stating that it was such a pity that Baron Kesby hadn't delved deeper into the family's sword arts instead of attempting to amalgamate different sword arts. Raul believed that if Baron Kesby had done so, he might have overcome the wall. In response, Baron Kesby scoffed and asked what a young brat like Raul knew to be blabbering like that, considering that he had been mastering the bear crush for the past 15 years. Baron Kesby found Raul's arrogance amusing. He then used the Tempest Wolf sword skill to attack Raul. Someone asked, is it Templeton family's Tempest Wolf? Another remarked, he must have learned master sword art while in the guard troop. A third person inquired, will he really win this time? Meanwhile, Raul effortlessly cut through the Tempest Wolf strike. Raul said to Baron Kesby, he doesn't get it. What's important isn't what kind of sword art you learn. It's how well you learn that sword art. Baron Kesby replied, you foolish. Do you think you can fight me with such a basic sword form? To Baron Kesby's surprise, Raul changed the direction of his sword and attacked his leg. Baron Kesby thought to himself, what was that sword form? He changed the direction of motion in a flash. What is it now? The fifth form of the bear crush swordsmanship, comb and pierce. No, it's the eighth form, horizontal slash. What's the next one? Is it the third form, twist and pierce? No. Is it vertical slash? The sixth form? I can't tell. He's switching sword forms so quickly that I can't react. Was connecting sword forms like this possible? A sword art consists of sword forms. The sword forms are a path that combine basic sword styles such as horizontal slash, vertical slash, and stabbing. However, it's easy to see through these sword forms, so when using swordsmanship, it is common to change them by linking several sword techniques. But that connection is happening several times in a short period of time. Moreover, it's so perfect that it is unpredictable. Is this the difference in talent? Damn it. Raul continued his attacks, causing Baron Kesby to drop his sword. Raul said, see Baron, just the standard combination of sword forms is enough. isn't it? After this, do you still think that the family's sword arts are lacking? Baron Kesby replied, you monster bastard. And Baron Kesby thought to himself, if you have that level of visual acuity, reaction speed, and judgment, the sword arts aren't important. He fell to the ground unconscious. Raphael announced, the winner of the second duel is Raul. People started saying, Baron Kesby has been defeated. The situation is getting weirder here. I definitely heard that he hadn't learnt swordsmanship properly. Baron Gender said, don't worry. Even so, he's just a young kid at the level of a sword user. Doesn't everyone know who the last contestant is? Hearing that, people became happy and said to each other, indeed, if it's him. No matter how amazing the family's sword arts are, that's all they are. Raphael said, now then, calling the last contestant to the front. Raphael thought to himself, this is pretty entertaining. I get to watch these Ashton bastards, who are such a thorn in our eyes, eat away at their own flesh. I'd like the little kid to lose, but honestly speaking, who wins has nothing to do with me. The third and last contestant said, it's finally my turn. Raphael thought to himself, was he Dave? He isn't exactly a memorable one. He's the eldest son of Baron Gender, a bit older than me. I heard he overcame his wall. Well, it doesn't matter. Struggle until the end, little kid. Raphael announced, the third match begins. People urged, Dave, crush him underfoot. Raul thought to himself, who would have thought they'd put in this much effort? Dave said to Raul, little kid, I won't say this twice. Give up on the match while I'm being nice. If you don't, I will cut off your limbs with this sword. If you plan on dealing with me with those stupid sword arts, it'll be a good idea to quit. People exclaimed. Witness that crystal clear mana blade. As expected from Dave, experts are certainly different. Raul said to Dave, stop saying useless nonsense and bring it on. Dave rushed forward saying, fine. I will give you what you want. Don't regret it later. Subsequently, they clashed their blades in a fierce encounter. Dave said to Raul, you're so good at attacking while making noises. Why don't you keep it up? Raul thought, is the physical increase that much? In the end, how long will the effect last? As I thought, this doesn't last long. Dave said to Raul, you bastard. Are you just going to keep blocking? Raul thought to himself, it cracked the blade. If a user's intermediate mana sword collides with an expert's mana blade, an average sword is bound to break. But as I thought, it isn't a real mana blade. Now that we've seen everything, shall I wrap it up? Raul rushed forward with great speed, leaving Dave confused about Raul's whereabouts. Then, Raul whispered near Dave, this is it, fake expert. No, Empire's dog. Dave said to Raul, what, how arrogant, however. With the clashes of both their blades, Raul's sword broke. Raul immediately attacked Dave, punching him in the face, causing Dave to be pushed backwards. Raul rushed forward to continue his attack, saying, rest in peace. Dave was struck in the face, resulting in him being propelled backward and colliding with the wall behind him. Raul then said, Judge, Raphael announced, the winner of the third and last duel. I declare Raul to be the winner. Raul moved back to the stage and said to Philip, so unfortunate. I like this sword. Philip replied, nice work. Raul responded, it wasn't that hard, Philip. When this is over, rest the one I just went against. I think he has the Empire's stigma on his body. Philip agreed, saying yes, sir. His movements also seemed unusual from my perspective. Pierce said to Raul, sir, I brought an extra sword, handing it to him. Raul turned to the people gathered and asked, now, what should I do? Baron Gendar thought to himself, how did Dave bend the rules? But he's still a sword expert. Why is my son lying down there instead of that kid? Baron Gendar exclaimed, no, he's a fraud. He must have done something. This duel is cancelled. It doesn't count. Baron Gendar thought to himself, it's useless. Everything's falling apart. He then realized, yes, papers. I have to hold on to those papers. That's the only way I can stand next to Jaden or the Randall family, Baron Gendar commanded. Take the papers from him. What are you guys doing? Go. Baron Gendar's followers pulled out their weapons and said to each other, right, there's no going back. Raul thought to himself, as expected. He said to his knights, let's play along with them for now. Jake said, I was waiting for this. One of the servants shouted, no one goes near him. Raul thought to himself, this is unexpected. The servants here are supporting us. The servant said, no one can get past us. The fight between both groups started. The servants' group and Baron Gendar's followers' group. The servants were saying, don't back down. Don't let them pass. You piece of shit, no one's getting to him. Meanwhile, Raul thought to himself, he has to figure out what's going on. He sees. It seems like he stumbled into an unexpected treasure. Baron Gendar said to the servants, you inferior vermin, how dare you stab us in the back? Is this how you return our favor? How ungrateful. The servants said, favor. You are the one who took away the donations meant for us. We hated the county only because we didn't know you were the one stealing it. If it weren't for Sir Raul, we would have been enslaved by you forever. Raul explained, these are the people who were recommended by Ashton County to enter the Royal Academy. They did well in the coming of age tournament and got a scholarship from the county to go to the academy. Since the academy's dorms are closed during the break, they had to stay in the mansion. Their living expenses were supposed to be subsidized during the break, but Baron Gendar took them all. He even used them as servants to save on servant employment costs. Jake said, that is crazy. He did so much just to steal. No wonder he was in charge here. Raul said, in the end, we gave power to the wrong person. I don't think he was like this from the beginning. Jake asked, what should we do? Someone will get hurt if they really start fighting. Raul said, don't worry. He's about to get here. Jake asked, who? A loud noise echoed, followed by a voice at the door commanding, move. Who do you think I am? Responding to this, Baron Gendar's followers hurriedly fled from the entrance, shouting, Aster. Baron Gendar asked, what's going on? Who is that? One of Baron Gendar's followers replied, we are in trouble. They sent Dylan. Dylan asked, who is it? Who's swinging a sword inside Ashton County's mansion? People looked at Dylan and began talking amongst themselves. One person said, an inhuman-sized body. Another person added, his arm is the size of a man's waist. He must be Dylan. A third person questioned, why is the Countess here? Meanwhile, Dylan and his knights entered the mansion. A follower of Baron Gendar aimed his sword at Dylan, who responded by delivering a punch and ordering, remain. On the ground, people started whispering to each other, wondering how it was possible. One person said, he's the strongest in the kingdom. Dylan asked, where is this kid? He looked around and spotted Raul saying, there he is. As Dylan neared Raul, he drove his sword into the floor and, while lifting Raul like a baby, asked, my youngest brother, how are you doing? Did anyone bully you? Are you eating and sleeping well? Are you really okay? Raul replied, brother, I'm getting dizzy. Let me go. Dylan laughed and said, right, you've grown a lot in the last 2 months, but it's not enough. If you are a man, you have to grow nice muscles like mine. Raul agreed and asked, did you, by any chance, come all the way from home like that? Dylan responded, of course I did. Clothes feel uncomfortable nowadays. It feels nice showing my muscular body to everyone in the capital. Raul thought to himself, oh God, the Count's heir is walking on the capital without a shirt on. Dylan declared, whatever it is, a man has to stay healthy. Got it. If you had a wonderful body like me, those clowns over there wouldn't even have tried to pull out their swords against you now. Shall we end this? How dare you shitters pull out a sword in the Ashton mansion? Raul thought, this should be over now. But what was he thinking bringing the vice-captain and all high-rank knights 25 intermediate sword experts. They can destroy the Baron's family easily. Baron Gendar thought, shit, he was trying to turn the tables, he's done for now. Randall's fourth son, Raphael, is busy hiding. The Brennan Republic Knights that he had as his secret weapon have turned away. How useless. Dylan observed. Let's see who's here. Look who it is, Randall. Come greet your brother. Raphael greeted. Long time no see, brother Dylan. In response, Dylan remarked, long time no see indeed. You still look the same. Which son were you? Raphael replied. Fourth. Dylan asked Raphael, do you still bully kids with the third and the sixth? Raphael denied. No, that was a long time ago. Dylan inquired. Are you getting mad at me? Raphael clarified. Of course not. Dylan stated. It seems like you've had your fun today. You won't be able to talk with me again if you stay like that. From now on, it's a family problem. I want you to stay out of it. What do you say? Or do you want to stay and talk with me? Raphael responded. I have things to do at home. Do as you want. Dylan told Raphael, okay, go ahead. Oh, and tell the first son to come see me if he ever wants to duel. Dylan turned to the gathered people and declared, let's finish this now. All of you leave. This is a family matter. But whoever pulled out their weapon has to stay. We have to talk. He asked Baron Gendar, what's good? Where's the paper you wanted signed? Same night. Raul said, thanks for coming, brother. But don't you think this is too much? Dylan questioned. You think so? Raul expressed concern. You brought the vice captain and many other knights. There are so many people. What about your wife and son? Dylan said to his brother. Brother, you asked for help, of course. I had to bring my best. Raul responded. I still think this is too much. And I contacted you late last night. You must have hurried to gather everyone and come to the capital. Dylan explained. You know why I did all this. Why do you think father gave you the stamp? It was easier to sort this out because I came. Raul thought to himself, he's right. If it weren't for the heir coming here, it would have been much harder. And he got here very fast through the portal. It must have cost him around 3,000 golds to get everyone here through the portal. Whatever, let's stop thinking about it. Raul asked, what are you going to do about them? There are around 30 people. Dylan asserted, they will pay for their sins. I won't let them get away. Raul inquired, they are still father's brothers. Do you think father will be okay with it? Dylan replied, he didn't say anything, so this is our chance to get rid of them. And we forgave them for so long, our funds grew scarce because of them. Raul thought to himself, it seems like it was my brother who planned this, not my father. The cafe link also said Dylan Ashton is very political and good at calculations. Brains along with brawn, he's definitely overpowered. Dylan commented, you don't look good. Is it because I might kill them? Don't worry, I'm just going to cut their funds. And good work today. I am proud of you, Raul said. I didn't do anything. I just ran straight at them because they were being annoying. Dylan teased, what a cutie. What do you mean you did nothing? You came up with the report and you beat them in the duel. Raul retorted, do this to Livy instead. I'm a full-grown adult now. Dylan chuckled, I want to. But your sister-in-law doesn't let me touch Livy. I'm her father. So why? Raul thought to himself, I don't think you'll land these big hands on her any time soon. Raul said to Dylan, I have something to tell you, brother. This is the paper record of me and Baron Gendar, proof of lineage. What should I do with it? Dylan responded, the houses of all 27 people who asked for your stamp are now in your possession. They are yours now. You can do as you want. Do you need my help? Raul exclaimed. They are all mine now. He thought to himself, that's at least 100,000 gold. I thought the family would take care of it since it was a family dispute. Dylan assured him, brother, this is the reward you earn by fairly dueling against them. They are rightfully yours. You don't have to worry about me or the family. I always tell you, a man has to be confident. You are a son of Ashton. You have to be even more confident. You deserve it. Raul understood and said, I'll try to be a confident man. Can I ask you a favor? Dylan inquired. What favor? Raul requested. Can you take care of this for me? You can leave Baron Gender's house because I want to use it. He thought to himself, this paper's value is different depending on who's holding it. It's going to be a lot of work to sell them all. Dylan agreed. Got it. I will take care of them. And you won't lose a single bit of it. I'll teach you something as a reward too. See me at the field in the morning. Raul asked, a reward? Dylan confirmed, yes. I'll teach you how to build the perfect muscles. Are you excited? Are you thrilled to learn? Raul replied, yes, most definitely. Dylan exclaimed, of course you are. Father and Lawrence are also curious too. But I'll only teach you. Raul thought to himself, does he have a secret way to build muscles? I am curious too. I spent a hellish month with my brother and swore to never train with him again. Finally, the day of the academy admission came. Bernard said to Raul, be safe, young master. I wish for great results on your placement exam. Raul reassured him, I'll go easy on it. There's no need to go too hard on a children's test. I'll be back. Dylan asked, are you really going to go easy? Raul exclaimed, yeah. Is there a need to try hard? Dylan replied, right. I'll go back when your admission is over. Don't worry about me and do you? Raul thought to himself, I thought he would tell me to try my best. I can go easy on the exam and just graduate from the academy. The academy is just an excuse to get away from home. It's not my true purpose. Trying to fit in with the kids will only tire me out. Let's just go easy. As they arrived at the academy, Raul observed the crowd of people gathered for the exam and said, it's pretty busy out here. I didn't expect admission day to be this busy. Dylan responded, this year is special. People who delayed their admission are all here now. Raul thought, did something happen? The cafe link didn't have any information about the academy. I even got the list of nobles who were expected to enter this year. There must be something happening. I'm not expecting too much from academy life, so it shouldn't matter. Then, the person announcing the names of those who got admission began. The announcer proclaimed, congratulations to Gerald D. Rubin on his admission. Templeton family's pride. Congratulations to young Master Dalton on his admission. Congratulations to Caleb D. Randall on his admission. Congratulations to Raul D. Ashton on his admission. Raul, surprised by this, turned to Philip and asked, what is this? You said there would be no lineages of warrior families this year. So why are there so many names of lineages, even the princes? Philip replied, there was no news about this when we left Mira. Raul cursed, shit, I didn't get any news because I spent a month training with my brother. Even Bernard was busy taking care of the house problem. Raul then turned to Dylan and asked, brother, can you explain what's going on? You knew about this, didn't you? Dylan smirked and said, you will soon find out, brother. Go easy on the exams. Congrats on your admission. Raul thought to himself, something's going to go wrong. Let's go inside. Turning to Jake and Pierce, he instructed, could the two of you gather information by going around? Also, provide details about the test center. Jake and Pierce responded in unison, yes, sir. Raul couldn't help but feel frustrated. It's a pain in the ass. There were supposed to be only easy ones here. I can tell there are many higher-up nobles here. He then expressed his thoughts, saying, I don't want to contend with kids my age. Raul turned to Philip and reassured him, don't worry about it. I was just talking to myself. Despite his concerns, Raul decided, let's not worry about it. I can still proceed with my plan. Just then, a person announced, everyone, pay attention. The admission ceremony shall begin shortly. I sincerely welcome everyone to the Rubin Kingdom Academy. The announcement continued, next, we will be introducing the staff members. Raul thought to himself, I've already researched the staff members. I don't have to pay attention. The announcer then revealed, Hardly recruited. This member of staff will be the Academy's temporary vice president as well as the Magic and Administration Department president, Alfredo Gray. Raul was taken aback. One of the three sages in the continent, the Eighth Circle Archwizard, Alfredo Gray. Why is he here? Alfredo Gray introduced himself as the temporary vice president of the prestigious and venerable Ruben Kingdom Academy. Raul, upon hearing this, thought highly of Gray, recognizing his exceptional skills in illusion, vision magic, and alchemy. Raul wondered why Gray had chosen to come to the academy, considering his reputation as a wandering sage. He had expected Gray to reveal himself after the alliances were formed, but it seemed different from his expectations. Gray then announced that the academy would include vision magic training in the curriculum and would showcase it in the placement exam. Next, Spence D. Templeton, the president of the academy, steps onto the stage, echoed Gray's statement and informed the students that there would be changes in this year's curriculum, reflected in the updated placement exam materials. Raul assumed that the difficulty level would remain the same and planned to take it easy. Templeton further announced a special reward for an outstanding student in the placement exam, surprising Raul, who had not heard about it before. As Raul looked at the window displaying information about the quest, he learned that the objective was to get into the S-class through the placement exam, with an additional objective of topping the exam. Failure to enter the S-class would result in a 5% decrease in skill mastery while attending the academy. The quest description mentioned the presence of many prodigies entering the academy that year, presenting an opportunity for the students to increase their family's prestige. The reward for completing the quest included experience points and player-only coins, with additional rewards depending on the result. Raul thought to himself that the quest wasn't that hard. He knew that the Academy's sword department had 5 classes, S, B, C, and D. He also knew that the top 60 out of the 600 students could get into the S class, so it would be easy for him to achieve. However, he questioned whether he should aim for more since he didn't even know the reward for being at the top. Jake interrupted Raul's thoughts by saying that they had mentioned a special reward, but it didn't seem all that special to him. He handed Raul a paper that contained information about the top student perks. It stated that the top students would be allowed to enter every floor of the academy library, have access to a personal training center with vision magic training facilities, and receive a personal item from the academy workshop. Raul was astounded by the perks listed on the paper. He realized that he had to get to the top in order to gain access to the training center and the library. He couldn't give up on these opportunities. He acknowledged that while the academy's lectures increased skill mastery, they didn't provide any experience or rewards. Raul had chosen to come to the academy to meet an important person outside of his homeland, and he believed that hunting monsters and exploring dungeons were more worthwhile than listening to lectures. However, Raul's perspective changed when he learned about the vision magic installed in the training center. He realized that even though the summoned monsters were fake, he could still gain experience from battling them. The only concern was the cost to maintain the magic, but if it was free, he wouldn't have to worry about it. Additionally, the library held hidden pieces, including hidden quests and skill books with valuable information. Although the floors were divided by years, Raul would be able to enter all of them if he reached the top. Raul had initially thought that he would have to wait at least 3 years to fully utilize the academy facilities, but now he realized that reaching the top would save him a significant amount of time. He was determined to achieve this goal. Just as Raul was contemplating his plans, an announcement was made that the test was starting soon and all freshmen were required to gather at the plaza. Raul felt confident that the test would be easy for him. There were a lot of people gathered for exam at the entrance of plaza. Then, a person named Caleb said to Raul, "Hey, you," and asked, "Are you the Ashton kid?" Raul thought to himself, "Another Randall," and asked, "Who are you? You look more like a kid than me." Caleb replied, "You are as arrogant as the rumors say." This is why people call the Ashtons rude and creepy. Raul turned and started to leave, saying, I don't know who you are, but I'm busy, so bye. Caleb shouted, Hey, stop, you, and tried to grab Raul from behind. Jake intervened and said to the Caleb, That's it. I don't know which family you're from, but you should stop. Caleb asked Jake, Who are you? And said, Move. Randall Knight said to Caleb, You don't want to make a scene here, sir. There are too many people watching. Caleb muttered, Shit. Ashton kids always creep me out. You arrogant fuck. I'll teach you your place. Meanwhile, Raul didn't even want to hear what Caleb was saying and moved away. A little later inside the plaza, Raul thought to himself, students who came to cheer for their families. I can see big names. The best knight in the kingdom, Duke Marquis Templeton. Marquis McNeil's family has an intermediate axemaster, Marquis Clifford, the rising Randall Viscount. These three families have many students already attending and have great influence inside the academy. I can already tell how this place runs. Jake remarked to Raul, This feels like a festival with so many ladies. I get why you wanted to come here, he inquired. Why? I already know young master will be at the top. I really want to see their faces when you're at the top. Aren't they from our family? Jake sighed and stated, I can't believe they're falling behind in a situation like this. Sir, I'll go take care of them. Good luck, Raul replied. See you later. Internally, Raul thought, let's check the exam instructions and freshman list. He considered, why are they all here? They were all well known in my past life, especially Dalton from Templeton and James from McNeil. They'll reach the master level in 10 years. They won't be easy. The instructor announced, the first test will begin soon. Please move to the small auditorium. Raul continued with his thoughts. But they are still kids. I'm sorry, but the top is mine. In the exam room, the instructor declared, the first test will be a written test. Raul reflected, I didn't have to study for a written test. Cafe Link and System Community have all the information I need. After a while, the instructor stated, the time for the written test is complete. Then he announced, the second test is a physical strength test. Enter the gym in groups. Please follow the invigilator's instructions inside. Upon entering the room, Raul grew a bit concerned and thought, is this a mana restriction field? One student exclaimed, What is this? I can't use mana. The instructor clarified, this is solely for physical strength. You can't use mana, so don't even try. Come up when you hear your name and follow the instructions. Raul pondered, is that a punching machine? The data says it's a strength meter, but that's definitely a punching machine. Meanwhile, the instructor called names and continued, Next, come up and hit the meter. Student number 202, his highest score is 1418. The instructor said, Next. Raul considered. They record the highest score of 2 attempts, and the average seems to be between 1000 and 1500. It's not that high. This guy has a stamina stat of 43 and a strength stat of 50. He's in the top 5 of his group. Let's see what he has. Then the person struck the punching machine, and the score of his punch was displayed as 2250. Students started saying, as expected, McNeil, that's so high. Raul thought, the first one to score over 2000. If he can get 2250, good. Now he knows the level here. In a room where academy instructors were reviewing students' results on a screen, they remarked to each other, impressive scores. Being a kingdom of knights, these results are consistently high. The caliber of freshmen this year surpasses previous years. Many applicants were drawn to the academy after learning about Mr. Gray. Alfredo Gray remarked, students below the age of 20 are scoring over 1000. The students at Leslie Kingdom Academy would be frightened. The elderly person seated in front of him chuckled and remarked, we are flattered. The academy at Leslie mainly deals with magic, I am still curious about what made you come to this academy. Even a month ago, the TAR said that we shouldn't be expecting anyone. Alfredo Gray explained. Like I said, I wanted to see how my newly developed magic circle works in person. This makes it sound like I'm using the students as experimental subjects, and laughed. Spence D. Templeton interjected. No, we are thankful that you allowed us to implement your new magic circle. The elderly person added, Indeed, you are even funding the training magic circle for the top student. Alfredo Gray reflected. Looking at all these young students, I'm glad I came. I heard there are many students from warrior families. Spence D. Templeton confirmed, Yes, that is what everyone is here for. I introduced him earlier. There he is. Alfredo Gray asked, Is he the 13th son of Randall, Viscount Randall? McKenny D. responded, Yes, his name's Caleb. The Lord trained him since his talent was outstanding. He asked me to let him into the academy. Alfredo Gray commented, I see, I'm looking forward to it. Meanwhile, Caleb struck the punching machine, and the display showed a score of 3005. Teachers observed and exclaimed to each other, Wow, he is different. I see why Count Randall favors him so much. The person seated on the right of Alfredo Gray pondered. They are different indeed. There's a long way before we catch up to them. Spence D. Templeton stated, Next is interesting. James from Mark E. McNeil's family, the current Lord Clifford's direct grandson. Another teacher asked, Is he the one the Order of Chivalry wants? Spence D. Templeton replied, Yes, I heard his talent is beyond the level of the academy. James then struck the punching machine, scoring 3,500 in his first attempt and 3,612 in his second. Teachers were astonished and exclaimed, with one saying, Holy, he went past 3,500 both times. Another added, 3,612. Isn't that a new record? A third teacher chimed in, It's the highest score ever recorded by a freshman. Alfredo Gray remarked, That's amazing. When that machine came out, even the knights barely scored above 3,000. The instructor announced, Next, get ready. The teacher identified the next student as Dalton and mentioned, I think he's a swordmaster's grandson. This is his first public appearance. Dalton then hit the punching machine, scoring 2,900 in his first try. The teacher expressed surprise, saying, He scored 2,900. Another teacher inquired, What's wrong? It's lower than the last student's score. While other teachers discussed the remarkable achievement of hitting the machine with one arm behind his back, they speculated about the potential outcome if the student exerted serious effort. They commended Templeton for his strength, acknowledging his title as the strongest. McKenny proposed go in for a meal, given that they already knew the rankings. Alfredo noted there was another student from a renowned family who hadn't arrived yet. McKenny dismissed the student, suggesting he wouldn't have made it without his family's recommendation and being only 15. The teachers pondered how this student would compete against older freshmen. McKenny mentioned that some students attended for the experience and weren't focused on graduating. At that moment, they heard Dylan's laughter and turned towards him, and inquired about his identity. Alfredo recognized him as the man from Ashton, commenting on his manners and appearance. Dylan greeted Vice President Gray, explaining that he accidentally laughed. Intrigued, Alfredo asked Dylan to share the reason behind the laughter. Dylan found amusement in listening to elderly men converse, remarking that holding onto what one already knows is egotism, as far as he remembered. McKenny D. Randall sought clarification on Dylan's statement, prompting Dylan to explain that the mentioned individual joined the academy at 15 for the experience, suggesting the possibility that he arrived early because he had nothing to learn. McKenny D. Randall dismissed this idea, citing the academy's history of no one graduating before the age of 20. Dylan countered, stating that the absence of precedent didn't guarantee it wouldn't happen. Accusing Dylan of arrogance, McKenny D. Randall questioned if he believed his brother could leave a mark in the academy's history. Dylan admitted uncertainty, emphasizing he wasn't a prophet but expressed curiosity about his brother's thoughts. McKenny D. Randall derided Dylan's words, labeling him as all talk and no substance, a typical trait of someone named Ashton. Spence D. Templeton intervened, urging them not to embarrass themselves in front of guests, and then inquired about the freshman from Ashton. Another teacher asked if Raul was the mentioned freshman. Upon seeing Raul, the teachers exchanged whispers, expressing surprise at his appearance. They questioned the legitimacy of Raul and Dylan being brothers. Dylan confirmed Raul as his youngest brother, referring to him as their family's gem. One teacher excused Raul's lack of sword skills due to his impressive figure, while another humorously pondered if there was anyone single in their family. McKenny D. Randall declared, "Everyone quiet. There's no need to talk so much about a man's face." Dylan mused, "The old man is trying so hard. He knows about Raul's skills because of the Baron Gendar incident. Was it Ketchup or Caleb? He is trying to turn their attention toward his 13th son. Hilarious. Is Raul really going to go easy? I hope he tries his best because of the situation here. I am worried since I said too much." Then, Raul struck the punching machine, registering a punch strength of 2,999. Spence D. Templeton thought, "Look at that, perfect. If I could rate him myself, I would give him a perfect score." Other teachers chimed in, with one saying, "Close. That's still impressive, 2,999. Another remarked, "He is 15. If only he came a year later." A third noted, "He's getting ready for the next hit." Raul reflected, "Good, it's going as planned." The teachers encouraged him, saying, "You got this. Let's score over 3,000, right? Don't be discouraged by your age. Hit it with courage." Raul then punched the machine again. All the teachers erupted in happiness upon seeing the score of Raul's second attempt. Meanwhile, Dylan pondered, "This guy. The score is exactly 3 points higher than the highest score. Clever guy. He really planned it out." Raul breathed a sigh of relief, convinced that everything unfolded according to his plan. Following the instructor's guidance, Raul returned to his seat. Surprised by Raul's performance, onlookers cast glances at him as he walked back to his seat. Raul accessed the guild chat and viewed a window containing messages regarding scores from other testing sites. Test site number 1 achieved the highest score of 2,820, but securing first place seemed unlikely. The same applied to test site number 2, boasting a top score of 3,612. Test site number 4 faced slim chances, as did test site number 5. Raul communicated a message, urging everyone to stay attentive, record the scores, and ensure that students with scores exceeding 2,500 were reported orderly once the test concluded. Having left the guild chat, Raul reflected on the successful completion of his actions. He pondered whether anyone had caught on. Since attaining expert level, his physical prowess had experienced significant growth. Rigorous training from his brother elevated his strength stat to 68. Though capable of scoring 4,000 easily, he had to align with the freshman's level, prompting him to gather relevant information. During the test, Raul feigned putting forth maximum effort, utilizing psychokinesis to mitigate the impact when throwing punches. He relied on the game system's calculator to ensure precision. While uncertain if these measures were entirely necessary, he deemed it prudent to conceal as much as possible, given the ongoing uncertainty about the true threat. He opted to conceal his abilities until other players appeared, especially given the peculiar nature of his powers. In his previous life, revealing his rank 1 abilities had prompted guilds to analyze and pursue him relentlessly. This constant evasion eventually cost him his life. Now, resolute not to repeat past mistakes, he vowed to remain hidden and eliminate those who chose to showcase their powers. He had become the hunter. As the instructor declared the imminent conclusion of the first test and instructed everyone to prepare for the next one, Raul realized he had been overthinking and opted to check his status before the test concluded. Examining the status window, Raul observed his details. His name registered as Raul. His level fluctuated between 55 and 56 in hardcore mode. He belonged to the knight class with proficiency, beginner sword skills and intermediate psychokinesis. He was associated with Ashton County, the initial guild. Notable unique traits included being a skill collector, possessing a developer's analyzing eye, mastering psychokinesis, having a warrior lineage, and holding an undisclosed skill. Anticipating the upcoming obstacle course, centered on strength and agility, Raul mentally prepared to moderate his actions. He wished for optimal performances from Dalton and James, desiring to assess his own capabilities. Grateful for his lineage, as a descendant of the esteemed swordmaster, Duke Marquis, Raul acknowledged the responsibilities accompanying this heritage. While Duke Marquis didn't compel his offspring to embrace swordsmanship, they endeavored to uphold the family's distinction as the finest. Contemplating Dalton's situation, burdened by the weight of his talent and the expectations placed upon him, despite surpassing peers in ability, Dalton sought refuge in the academy to escape the rigors of stringent training. Questioning the rationale behind a test on the first day of admission, Dalton contemplated whether staying home and sleeping would have been a better choice. The cacophony around him added to his annoyance. Reviewing the results of the first test, he found them unexpected. Notably, James securing the second position surprised him, considering Dalton had consistently bested him in the past. Recognizing James as his most formidable opponent, Dalton contemplated the intriguing possibility of encountering someone even more skilled. The instructor's announcement about transitioning to the next testing site interrupted his thoughts, but Dalton remained curious about the top scorer, speculating whether the individual might be the familiar face named Raul. Intrigued, Dalton approached Raul to confirm his identity. However, Raul seemed unfamiliar with Dalton and inquired about his name. Dalton introduced himself and observed a peculiar glint in Raul's eyes. Despite acknowledging Raul's attractiveness, Dalton was confident in his own appeal. As Raul began to walk away, Dalton requested him to wait, surprised by the rare experience of being overlooked. Puzzled by Raul's lack of recognition, Dalton contemplated the usual attention he received due to his well-known identity. Dalton found Raul's newfound curiosity intriguing, anticipating the expression Raul would wear when facing defeat in the upcoming test. As they reached the second test site, Raul contemplated the apparent simplicity of the challenge, a timed obstacle course in full steel armor. However, the complexity lay in navigating traps strategically scattered throughout the course. Following the instructor's announcements disqualifying specific numbers, the participants in the second test exchanged whispers, trying to gauge how many had been disqualified. Raul pondered the situation, realizing that despite their low ranks, a significant number of students, around 100, had already been eliminated. He suspected there might be more to this test than met the eye, as discussions arose within the crowd about the test modifications. As Vice President Gray entered the academy, speculations circulated among the participants regarding the changes, as nobody seemed to be succeeding. Shortly thereafter, the instructor declared the success of 2 individuals in the second test. The initial participant finished the run in 13 minutes and 33 seconds, followed by the second participant completing it in 12 minutes and 52 seconds. Raul found this intriguing and pondered how fast subsequent participants would perform. After a brief period, the leaderboard revealed the fastest completion time for the second test, 9 minutes and 12 seconds. Observing the leaderboard, Raul contemplated the best time so far. No significant shift. Let's see how they perform now. Dylan remarked, "My turn is approaching. Time to prepare. Is it my turn already?" Concurrently, Raul accessed the guild chat and inquired, "Any noteworthy developments?" Philip informed, "Not yet. The current top score is 7 minutes and some seconds." Raul instructed, "Examine each one and keep me posted. Also, stay updated on my group. Philip acknowledged. Yes, sir. Raul reflected. Managing multiple tests concurrently is challenging, but I'll do my utmost to keep track. The instructor called out, Number 285, Raul. Let me outline the rules. Raul responded, Yes, sir. The instructor explained, the traps and obstacles are all illusion spells, but the inflicted damage will be recorded as if they were real. If the recorded damage exceeds your armor's capacity, you will be disqualified. Raul affirmed, Understood. The instructor instructed, Number 285, start. Raul contemplated. This old armor is cumbersome and challenging to maneuver in. I understand why many struggled initially, but it's manageable for me. My strength has grown significantly since reaching the expert level. Facing the first obstacle torrent, Raul reflected. Despite being an illusion spell, it appears remarkably authentic. How many mana stones did they expend? Did they genuinely set up all of this just for the entrance exam? What a waste! Navigating to obstacle number 2, the forest traps. Raul inadvertently activated a trap, launching arrows in his direction. Yet, he effortlessly evaded the arrows with his swift reflexes and high speed. Internally, he mused, it's about time for new traps. Progressing through the obstacles, Raul received a message from Philip, causing him to sheath his sword. Intrigued, Raul contemplated. There it is, let's see. Navigating the traps, Raul checked the guild chat and absorbed the information from Philip. The message indicated, James and Dalton are moving at an impressive pace. They're expected to complete the test in approximately 5 minutes. Curious about other participants, Raul messaged Philip, asking for information. Philip replied, Caleb from Randall is doing well, but he's not at James and Dalton's level. There are skilled individuals here, evident in their relaxed demeanor as they effortlessly navigate the traps, seemingly unconcerned about their time. Raul directed Philip to track their progress separately and provide regular updates about James and Dalton. Meanwhile, facing a swinging bridge and a cliff with fireball shooters, Raul paused, thinking, it might be annoying, but it won't hinder me. Raul surged forward at a rapid pace, contemplating impressive speed, but the strong wind is affecting the stability of the bridge. Simultaneously, a trap began to hurling fireballs in Raul's direction. Observing the situation, Raul contemplated, at this rate, a fall is inevitable. Readying himself, Raul sliced through the oncoming fireball, reflecting, using the mana blade would simplify this, but revealing it now is not an option. This should be enough. Okay, he made it. Now onto the cave section, more challenging traps. But there's no turning back. There's always a solution. As errors approached, James deftly blocked them with his shield. Reflecting on the situation, James pondered, this is becoming tiresome. Why am I even here? Attending an academy at my age is already bothersome. Having to deal with these inferior individuals. I've triumphed in a tournament dominated by those in their 20s, and I possess experience as a capital guard. This is a futile endeavor for someone on the brink of knighthood. Under direct orders from his lord, James reluctantly found himself at the academy. Annoyed by the presence of Dalton and the Ashton kid, he couldn't shake off the task at hand. Losing the top position to them would be a complete failure. As he shielded himself from incoming arrows and emerged from the cave, James completed the second test in 5 minutes and 15 seconds, convinced that he had secured the victory and the top spot. Excited voices erupted from those behind James as they exclaimed, "Check the result board. The scores have shifted." Startled, James swiftly glanced at the board, revealing the updated results. Dalton claimed first place with a time of 4 minutes and 58 seconds, while James secured second place with a time of 5 minutes and 15 seconds. Onlookers at the result board started sharing their thoughts. A person exclaimed, 4 minutes, unbelievable. Another commented, even if it's a straight line, I can't achieve that time. Meanwhile, Dalton reflected, I'm just getting started. James, eyeing Dalton, mused, That guy, he's thrown a wrench into my plan. The gathered individuals continued their conversations. One person remarked, Templeton family. Look at him, he doesn't seem tired at all. Dalton inquired, where's Raul? James thought, what, Raul? Why is he searching for the Ashton kid? He never cared during our duels. Why this sudden interest? Whatever. It's not my concern. I've given my best, and my time isn't far off from Dalton's. There's no way a 15-year-old who's not even an expert can beat my record. The top spot is either mine or Dalton's if I do better. However, upon seeing the scoreboard, James was in disbelief. The scoreboard revealed the second test results. Raul secured the top spot with a time of 4 minutes and 55 seconds, followed by Dalton in second place with a time of 4 minutes and 58 seconds. James in third place with a time of 5 minutes and 15 seconds, and Caleb in fourth place with a time of 6 minutes and 22 seconds. Conversation circulated among the observers. One remarked, Raul outperformed Dalton once more, but by a narrow margin. Another questioned, how is he managing that? And his thoughts, Raul considered, I've kept pace with the record nicely. James pondered, how did he pull it off? He's not even an expert. Meanwhile, Dalton found it intriguing, thinking, academy life might not be as dull as I anticipated. The instructors conversed as they watched Raul. One remarked, he secured the top spot in the previous test too, so Raul is set to claim first place overall. The teachers congratulated Sir Dylan, expressing their admiration. Dylan chuckled and responded, thank you. The academy president, Spence D. Templeton, remarked, this was quite intriguing, especially Raul's agility. Does Ashton County instill ranger techniques in their students from a young age? Another teacher noted, I anticipated Raul to be more direct than James. Just look at Sir Dylan. Dylan chuckled and replied, Raul is a unique individual in our family. He has acquired a diverse set of skills. Dylan reflected, I had to provide an explanation, but even I didn't anticipate him navigating those courses so skillfully. James, McNeil's son, dismantled obstacles with force, while Dalton showcased precision with his longsword, reminiscent of Swordmaster Marquis. They utilized the strengths associated with their family backgrounds to navigate the course. Raul wielded a two-handed greatsword, a common choice among Ashtons. However, his remarkably precise maneuvers exceeded everyone's expectations. Notably, he managed to navigate the cave without triggering a single trap, showcasing skills typically associated with experienced rogues or rangers. It's noteworthy that he accomplished this without resorting to a mana blade, and like James and Dalton, Dylan pondered, he concealed his expertise and adept use of rangers' navigation skills. We'll need to have a serious conversation about keeping such things from me. Nonetheless, I am immensely proud of Raul. The second test ended, marking the conclusion of the academy placement exam. Congratulations from his fellow brethren followed, prompting Raul to retreat into the carriage to minimize attention. Exhausted, he reflected, I aim to keep a low profile. Hopefully, they bought it. Things are going well for now. I just need to lay low now and get some rest. Closing his eyes for rest, he experiences a dream of his past life, when Bae DoHyun questioned, what motivated you to do this? The Desen Guild Master, Han Gilju, retorted, you're acting as if your family perished. Oh, my mistake. You don't have one, being an orphan and all. Apologies for that, followed by laughter. I extended a polite invitation for you to join us. If you had accepted, none of this would have occurred. Despite your rank 1 status, did you genuinely believe you could triumph over all of us? Quite arrogant, Han Gilju exclaimed. What's with that intimidating look just because we killed an NPC? In his thoughts, Bae DoHyun mused, merely an NPC. But for me, she was more than that. We crossed paths during the main quest, and she's been my guide ever since. I dedicated over a year to safeguarding her from all threats. She was, in essence, my family. And now, I've lost her to a guild unrelated to the quest. Han Gilju remarked, "Give it a shot. I was planning to take you down anyway." Instructing his guild members to attack Bae DoHyun, they closed in on him. Utilizing his psychokinesis trait, Bae DoHyun swiftly dispatched the majority of them. Perplexed, Han Gilju questioned, "How? I get that you're rank 1, but this is beyond overpowered. Damn gacha company. After spending so much, I only got crappy skills." Bae DoHyun, employing psychokinesis to brandish a dagger at Han Gilju, inquired, "I need answers. Why is your guild killing guide NPCs? Explain immediately." Bae DoHyun queried Han Gilju, "What drives you to slay NPCs? Aren't you afraid of the penalties? Killing quest NPCs poses severe consequences for players, leading to permanent account deletion and bans on associated accounts. The quest persists with new NPCs, irrespective of how many times they are killed. So, why persist in this despite the imminent risk of penalties?" Han Gilju chuckled and retorted, "Penalty? Do you truly believe I fear such consequences? Only peasants like you worry about that. The reality is, many are willing to slay NPCs for a mere 10,000. Bae DoHyun firmly stated, "Enough of the nonsense. Just answer my question." Han Gilju countered, "Why bother? You're going to kill me regardless. And even if you do, I'll simply buy a revive with some pocket change, peasant." Bae DoHyun reflected, "I did hear about him being the grandson of a family that owns one of Korea's top 5 companies, Desung." Han Gilju boldly proclaimed, "You can try all you want, but you'll eventually kneel before me. In both real life and the game, the one with the most money emerges victorious." Bae DoHyun contemplated while eliminating Han Gilju. "That doesn't sway my resolve. On that day, I pledged in front of the girl I failed to protect. Why not? Let's go for it. I'll hunt you until you grow tired of dying in this game. I'll erase the Descent Guild from this virtual world." Raul awoke and pondered. "What a dream. It's the first time I've dreamt about my past life. Something feels peculiar. I couldn't fulfill the promise I made to that girl. What is this icon? Does it have some connection to the notification I just heard?" The information window showcased details about the upcoming update, with the company extending appreciation to all players utilizing their Connect system. They unveiled the launch of their latest update, named Pre-Scenario 1.0, encompassing elements like the unveiling of a concealed ancient dungeon, the implementation of a dimension gate system, and the conversion of specific NPCs into quest NPCs. Moreover, there was an enhancement to the guild system. The scheduled release date for the update was set a month from the present, on May 28th. Upon learning about the upcoming update, Raul reflected on his anticipation of such a development, although the earlier timing caught him by surprise. Realizing that this meant a reunion with someone significant to him, he pledged to protect her this time. However, the uncertainty of the update's exact timing left him feeling unprepared. With just a month remaining, he acknowledged that immediate major events were unlikely, but missing this opportunity could significantly impede his plans. Urgency gripped him, motivating a resolve to dominate scenarios and amass resources before other players joined. Recognizing the impact of his decisions on future outcomes, he understood the crucial importance of utilizing the time effectively. Prioritizing leveling up and guild expansion, Raul also aimed to explore the academy library and other free cities. Concerns lingered about the time available for these tasks. Driven to optimize every moment, he dedicated an entire night to meticulous planning, crafting a well-structured and efficient strategy. The beginning of their meeting was signaled by Silver Zero, the leader of the Imperial Hounds, declaring, "Let's begin." As the first thing on the agenda, it was conveyed that he would provide an update on the royal house. It was highlighted that the king had refrained from making public appearances, aside from the routine meetings. Additionally, attention was drawn to the absence of the Sword Emperor at his grandson's enrollment, with Marquis McNeil's freshman president taking part instead. Silver Zero acknowledged the report, commending it as well done, and conveyed that the Central Command had issued the directive earlier that morning. They revealed that the comprehensive strategy would commence precisely 1 month from that date. The assembled individuals shared their enthusiasm, expressing anticipation that their diligent efforts would finally yield results. Silver Zero hushed the assembly, emphasizing that this marked only the initial phase, and everyone's roles had gained increased significance. Following this, Number 8 inquired of Number 7 about the progress of their inquiry into Mira. Number 7 conveyed that the preliminary investigation was complete, yet uncertainty lingered due to the kingdom's involvement, posing challenges in approaching the matter closely. Silver Zero sought clarification on their statement, and Number 7 affirmed their certainty that Randall was involved. Number 4, skeptical, noted the absence of any noticeable actions from Randall and pondered if those banished to Mira had attacked their camp. Number 7 clarified that the events aligned, with the Randalls announcing their takeover of Mira on the exact day, and the presence of power armor and gear with tracker spells unmistakably pointing toward Randall. Expressing doubt about Randall's capabilities, Number 4 questioned how they could achieve such a feat with their strength. Silver Zero interjected, declaring they had heard sufficient discussion about Randall, and inquired if there were any additional updates. Number 3 added that the youngest son of Ashton County had been sighted, clarifying that he hadn't approached their base but was present in the city. Silver Zero questioned whether there was a possibility of collaboration between Ashton County and Randall. Number 3 expressed doubt about Ashton County's involvement. In response, Silver Zero directed them to remove Ashton County from the investigation and inquired if there were any other updates. Number 3 mentioned uncertainly that one of their team members had spotted someone who might be Gray. Silver Zero opted to temporarily halt the investigation on Gray, stating that it was unnecessary to focus on minor matters when the grand plan was on the horizon. They proposed issuing a warning to Randall for the time being. Silver Zero inquired, "What transpired at the academy?" Number 3 reported, "There was an unforeseen element. While we were monitoring Dalton, Raul, Ashton County's youngest son, unexpectedly entered the scene." Silver Zero questioned, "Raul?" Number 6, "What's the situation? Weren't you overseeing Ashton?" Number 6 admitted, "Honestly, I'm puzzled. He displayed no remarkable talent last year, but this year, he's demonstrating significant skill. While we have a handle on him for now, I can't guarantee he's not concealing something." Silver Zero inquired, "Could he pose a threat to our plan?" Number 6 reassured, "I highly doubt it. He's just a 15-year-old. I initially intended to utilize him later, but if that falls through, I have a backup plan as well." Silver Zero pondered, "Raul seems to be popping up everywhere, but we can't afford to focus on a kid with the grand plan looming." Silver Zero instructed, "Gray holds more significance than Raul. Find out why he surfaced now. Since the top entrant approach failed, initiate the next plan." Number 8, "How's the progress on the underworld?" Number 8 responded, "There's a guild causing some issues, but it's nearly resolved. I'll ensure it's taken care of before the grand plan kicks off." Silver Zero emphasized, "Once more, a month from now, ensure there are no complications. Stay vigilant until then. Keep in mind, a small variable could jeopardize our entire plan." Working late into the night, Raul focused on his plans. The following day, he reflected, "Staying up is exhausting, but it ensures a trouble-free future. Opting for commuting over dorm living allows me to handle tasks more efficiently. I've organized my classes to be core subjects only, 3 days a week." Among the gathered students, discussions ensued. One inquired if the top entrant was indeed the 15-year-old prodigy this year. Another acknowledged the abundance of talent but emphasized that this particular individual claimed the coveted first position. A third student highlighted the top scorer's intelligence, skills, and attractiveness, expressing frustration at the seemingly unfair advantages. Fourth student questioned why someone from a prestigious family needed to attend the academy when they didn't need the diploma. Meanwhile, another student shared a sentiment that with advanced sword skills like the top entrant, they would have become a knight already. Meanwhile, Raul reflected that he could disregard the students' gossip since the academy was a minor aspect of his overarching plans, serving specific purposes. Abruptly, a window appeared, revealing the placement exam results and class assignments. Raul found out that he had clinched the top spot in the rankings, with James and Dalton trailing closely behind. Deep in thought, Raul considered the implications of his ranking and pondered if there were additional details to be aware of. Another window materialized, displaying details about a scenario quest and the placement exam. Despite the grade D of quest, Raul had managed to secure a spot in the S-class, claiming the highest position. His reward consisted of experience points, 500 coins, and an undisclosed bonus. Reflecting on the achievement, Raul deemed it not overly challenging and found the reward somewhat trivial. Despite anticipating the extra reward to be minimal given the quest's low grade, curiosity lingered. Nonetheless, he shifted his attention to attending class. During his academy classes, Raul discovered that they were more elementary than he had envisioned. Despite expecting some attention from Caleb, Dalton, or James, his classmates opted to avoid him. Deciding to let things unfold, Raul perceived the first day as tolerable. One of the senior students inquired, "Raul, is Raul present?" Raul confirmed, "Yes, I am Raul. What's the matter?" Senior proceeded, "Here are the perks for being the top entrant. Present this at the library or training to get registered. Vice President Gray seeking you, so kindly visit him immediately." In his thoughts, Raul mused, Vice President Gray. So, this is the additional reward, Alfredo Gray, the historical hero who battled against the Empire. Meeting him exciting, yet concerning. Knocking on the door, Raul awaited permission. Alfredo Gray welcomed, "Enter." Raul stepped into the office and courteously said, "Excuse me." Alfredo Gray extended a welcome, stating, "Greetings, Raul. Could you wait over there for a moment? I have some paperwork to attend to." Raul responded, "Certainly." Inwardly, Raul reflected, "Incredible. Though I've never encountered him in person, he matches the images and videos shared by other players. He carries the air of a standard noble, yet there's an intriguing aura about him. I'm eager to learn more, perhaps a discreet glance won't hurt." Upon attempting to view Alfredo Gray's status window, Raul was met with limited information, only displaying details already commonly known such as his level, class, affiliation title, stats, and unique talent. Raul pondered, "Strange, I can't access his full information. Everything visible here is already widely known." Alfredo Gray inquired, "Can you observe certain details?" This raised Raul's anxiety as he thought, although he appears to be reading a document, his behavior suggests he's aware of my actions, and possible. Let me test this. Raul expressed, "I heard meeting you is quite challenging," so Alfredo Gray comforted him, saying, "No need to worry. I'll be at the academy for a while. Please wait a bit, I'm finishing up. I have many questions for you, Raul, especially about those eyes." Raul wondered, "Who is this person?" Notification about this manhwa series. All the chapters that were released are included in this video till today. Notification about next part. This marks the conclusion of the 9th part of this manhwa. The 10th part will be posted after there were at least 3 to 4 chapters of this manhwa released. So remember to like and subscribe to the channel for future update. See you in 3 days with a new video.